It's October the 4th, 2024. I am at Joel Pearl, and it's time to get in the weeds. Happy anniversary, Jeremy Lambert. Anniversary number 2 and number 5 and number 2 again. And happy Friday. How you doing?
That was all on Wednesday. It's not the anniversary. The anniversary's done. Like, you know, it's over.
That's fair. But did you do anything fun for your anniversary?
I watched professional wrestling.
That sounds awful. Why would you do that?
Work to be done. The wrestling does not care about my anniversary, so you know.
That's true. It's like the world of MLW. It never stops.
Yeah. Now my cat wants out already.
Oh, started talking about wrestling, and the cat knew exactly what to do. I respect it. I respect you, kitty girl. Go let him out. Hey, how you doing, chat? It's good to see you. How you feeling? Have you left the thumbs up yet on the video? If you haven't, what are you waiting for? Are you waiting for a good old time in the West? Or maybe you're waiting for this? Yeah, come and time cock with us.
I'm time cocking around, boys.
How you doing?
Time cocking around.
How you doing, cock of the walk?
I am the cock of the walk. I don't have my gimmicks on me today, so I'm just here as normal pedestrian named Zarian.
Oh, that's fine. The other guy does. I don't know who you're talking about. The other guy's just.
I have no idea.
Just a thing.
Just a thing.
I have a theory that maybe Rich Stambolian is
the time cock. I mean, he does take different shapes and forms, so
usually phallic ones.
Jeremy, you didn't do it.
Oh, my internet froze, but yeah, no, I was waiting. But Andrew Zarian, nice eyebrows.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
How are you today?
I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
I contemplated jumping out of my window yesterday.
That doesn't sound great.
Story one, right?
Jumping in front of the train, and also drowning myself. I thought of all of those things yesterday. This has been the week from hell.
All at once?
Yeah, all at once at the same time. I just wanted to go out with a bang.
I don't know if you would go out with a bang at that point.
Jump out of the window. Hold on. Let's storyboard this. Jump out of the window. Get hit by the bus. The bus hits you so far, you go into a pool and you drown.
I end up in the East River. The East River.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can do this.
Yeah.
This sounds like a good movie here.
Yeah. Yeah. How close are you to a bridge?
5 minutes.
Okay. So
I got the White Stone. I got the White Stone Bridge, and I got the Throgs Neck Bridge right here.
Okay. I'm just thinking in terms of like momentum. Because if you jump out the window and the train hits you, the train's got to carry you all the way to a bridge where you would fall into the East River or to any body of water. Realistically, we're trying to make this a reality. Like we're trying to make this as realistic.
We're not trying to make this a reality. Hold on, let's not.
True.
Let's choose our words carefully here. We're not trying to make this a reality.
Well, some people might. You'd make this as realistic as possible.
Joel's going to end up with a horse head in his bed by saying these things.
Oh, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. Good luck
with those international shipping rates. It'll cost more just to ship the horse head than it will be to get me upset.
I had to order something from the UK. I didn't realize it was coming from London. I have no idea how they do their parcels over there. It's the most insane thing I've ever seen. There's like everything is independent. There's no tracking number. They said it would take 5 days. It's been 20.
Wow.
Never again.
Tracking code.
Tracking
code. Trust me, bro. Trust me, bruv.
Bruv. Trust me. It's on the way. It was a big week for wrestling. Tony finally they announced the deal.
Well, if you ask Tony, he got the bag.
He got the bag. Tony got the bag. I do find it amazing how all those detractors, that were saying, I'm making this up, Shawn's making this up. I mean, I got a message from somebody and they were like, and they copied and pasted me what I had wrote about the simulcasting. This is someone in TV. And he goes, dude, you're not going to gloat about this? You called it in January. I'm like, there's nothing to gloat about.
I don't know if hilarious is the right word, but what's very funny for us is so we did this show on Wednesday and we're like, oh, we'll stick around a little bit longer. Maybe they'll announce the deal at noon so we can talk about it. But the select story dropped during our show. I can go back and look at the time, but the select story, it was basically, oh, they're going to simulcast on Max and everything else is the same. And we talked about that on the show. And then the news comes out at 4:00 on Wednesday. And literally the only thing to it was, oh, it's going to simulcast on Max. Like, well, we actually did talk about it on our show because the select story dropped during our show and it had the exact news that ended up dropping at 4:00.
Yeah. I was getting updates on every time that was getting shifted, the drop, because I think I had sent it to Joel. It was supposed to be a noon thing, and then they kept moving it and moving it. I think it had to do with the variety piece that they wanted to kind of time it with, and variety was taking a while with it. But it was amazing because that variety piece was wrong.
Yeah, they gave him too much time, seems to be the problem here.
But there was a lot of stuff missing. Like, there was a lot of key stuff missing. Like, they didn't talk about pay-per-views, really. They just said it's a discounted rate. They didn't say if the archives are going to be on there. The number was totally wrong. When I saw that 150 number, I got a number like a week ago. And it was a range. You're like, well, the deal, it's not like a set number. It goes up and it fluctuates depending on the year. And I was like, oh, what is it? That was so 170 to 185. I mean, but again, I never really had a number. And then when it dropped, I was like, okay, this is wrong. And then I got a call saying like, yeah, this is a wrong number. So listen, 185,000 on average over 4 years. That's freaking fantastic money.
How many digits did the number you get, Zarian? Because I got a number.
How many digits?
Yeah, I got a
2-digit. Mine was a 2-digit number.
A 2-digit
number?
$12.
Just $12.
Just $12.
Just enough to cover the engagement account for that month.
Yeah.
I got a 10-figure number. My source gave me.
My children, hold on.
That's a big number.
The dog is doing something terrible. My daughter is screaming.
I know this.
Okay, it's fine. Who knows?
It's fine. Well, it'll sort itself out like nature.
I got a soundproof door here. Where is it? That door is.
I couldn't hear anything.
Yeah, and you got I got my Tylenol. I got my BioFreeze here because my bones are bad, and I got my TRT right next to it. I'm ready to go.
I got AirPods, Q-tips, and a credit card.
Here we
go. And a Sharpie.
I got a trash can full of Joel's bad ideas.
First of all, there's also one from the chat, so let's get this right. Since we're on the accuracy train,
I've got breaking news real quickly. That
has
nothing to do with this show.
Great.
The guy you are interviewing is cute. I don't know if we're interviewing Andrew Zarian, but wish me a happy birthday on the show. Watching it now. Love you. This is from my mother, whose birthday is on Sunday.
Happy birthday! And
sing it like Marilyn. Sing it like Marilyn.
You know what? And I appreciate that comment. That lightened up my day.
My mom clearly doesn't listen or watch this show regularly because you're on all the time. It's not like, no offense, but you're not like some new guest who we've never talked to before.
I would have gotten a little bit more done up if I knew that your mom was watching. I would have been more presentable.
Same.
Here.
I knew it.
I knew she was talking about Joel.
It's very possible she's talking about Joel. She really doesn't watch the show.
She's met me in person.
Before I go, because I have to go do a show. I have to do Matmen at 10:30 Eastern on the Matmen channel.
Never heard
I got to talk about those Mets.
That was a hell of a game last night.
That was a hell of a game. Milwaukee, fantastic team. I'm looking forward to the Phillies. I'm glad we're not playing the Dodgers or and we did not play San Diego. We kind of lucked out by losing, which in very typical Mets fashion, we tend to do that. Are you excited for the playoffs? Are you a baseball guy, Jeremy?
I'm not like the biggest of the four major sports. It's the sport that I care least about, but it's
the first one for me.
I like watching the playoffs though, because I like watching the best teams compete. My problem with like regular season baseball is it's 162 games, and I just can't bring myself to care that often. And the Reds just hired Terry Francona, so that's something.
Yeah,
and we'll see how
Joel,
that goes.
How about you?
So
you guys play baseball in Canada.
Joel only knows about the Blue Jays. I'll tell the story for Joel. Joel only knows about the Blue Jays because he gets messages on his AEW app of when the Blue Jays win, and so he gets coupons.
And then they got lazy, and now it's all just Jays win. You get a free fry with the purchase. And I'm like, well, this is bullshit. I don't care when the Jays win anymore. But anyway, I did like the Blue Jays years ago when they were actually performing, and then they got into a not a slump, but they got into a whole back into a playoff spot. Ooh, that looks good. You look lovely. You're out there touching grass.
But
hell just
happened?
Jays are okay. Got shot into space. Oh, here's Watergate.
Yeah, that's vacation. Jerry.
Oh, this is the new This is in the new Mac OS. Look at this.
Oh
boy, I'm in the future.
Oh, this is basically how they do. This is how you do your own keynote speech. That's where what's his face stands at the beginning of all this stupid.
That's where he stands. Right over there.
What are you clicking for this, Zarian?
Okay, so I clicked on my the little camera icon on the top.
Okay, yeah, I got that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, on voice isolation too. These are all new settings. Okay, click on that, and then do you have background?
Oh, I haven't updated yet. Maybe that's the issue. Is that I do not have background on here.
Look at this. Timecock traveling through eras mid podcast.
Yeah, you see that? You see my abilities?
I can just turn on my own studio light. Look at that. Lights on, lights off.
Yeah, are you Tim Cook or are you Timecock? This is a very good question. Second best gimmick we've ever done.
Yeah, I'm in the void. Here we go.
Yeah, that's how you should do Mat Men. You should just.
This is how I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
That's how I just wanted to call in today. I got to go do it now, but I hadn't been around, so I just wanted to thank. Also, it's raining. I wanted to thank Shawn because Shawn really he put me over on his show about the WBD stuff, and that was very much appreciated. Opposed to certain other people just taking my story and running with it and not even mentioning me. So
yeah, that's what we do sometimes. My story now.
Yeah, it's yours now. Bye, boys.
Thanks,
Ryan
pal.
Zarian, appreciate you.
We love our Andrew Zarian, don't we? He's a
My
good.
mom's
he's a
big fan, apparently.
Can you blame her? Oh, I didn't. I meant to get this one from Ryan saying Andrew Zarian start working on the NWA deal.
Look at this. Refund Ryan's money for that.
I don't think I physically can, but we'll do it. Oh, Andrew's still here, so Andrew can see that super chat and deal with it accordingly.
I hope he just doesn't respond.
Talk to Billy and ask him about the TV deal. Be like, hey, now that you've been kicked off of the CW app and you've moved to YouTube, what will you do now? And they'll be like, we're going to Twitch.
Ooh,
and then we're gonna have to do Twitch. We're gonna have to do Twitch simul streams with NWA Power. It's gonna be just Jensen watching though.
I'd say like, if NWA goes on Twitch, we'll do simul streams and stuff. But like, they're actually gonna be on Twitch at some point, and I don't actually want to hold myself into that.
No, I don't want to either. When Impact did it, it was fine because it was content. We were trying to build our Twitch presence. We were trying to build our Twitch channel, and now it's like, no.
Yeah, and also Impact was like, okay. Like
that's also a very good point. NWA streaming from Fightful Select. Listen, don't give Shawn ideas; he'll do it.
We could probably get them on Overbooked at this point.
We'd probably get good numbers. Probably do better than their channel. Anyway, speaking of good channels, why don't you subscribe to us yet? Go ahead, subscribe to youtube.com/Fightful Overbooked, and you can leave a thumbs up on this video and all of our videos, of course. The fireworks go off when you do it. That's how you know you have quality in your wrestling commentary. And donate a super chat just like Ryan did earlier. Any amount, get your question or statement read on the air. We read other stuff, but also we appreciate when you support us. It helps us.
How do I get this confetti to fall? What reaction do I need for that?
I don't know. Someone's got to tell you what that was, because that was a new one.
Well, I clicked it. I can click the reactions. I don't want to. I want to, I know all of them. So the heart I know this is our show today. We're just going to do reactions. I know how to get there's the heart, thumbs up, thumbs down, balloons. We discovered the balloons. But there's two. There's confetti and lasers.
Make two victory signs. So make two of these like this.
Like that?
There you go.
Oh, okay. Now what about the lasers?
I don't know. Are they Jewish faces?
Pew, 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 pew.
Is it what is this laser one?
Yeah, there's lasers.
Dude,
Double horns? Is that true?
I don't know. Try it.
Is that double horns?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
That rules. Yeah, NWA with Joel and Jeremy's announcers. It's just us looking for the Apple reactions.
Wow. Oh, I'm gonna bust those out a few times now. That's amazing. Thank you, King Potato.
Funny. What's studio lights? Oh no, that's just the reactions. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I was gonna look into the studio lights, so I'm gonna turn my actual lights off here. So there, now you really can't see me. But what if I turn the studio light on? No, that didn't do anything.
No, all it does is just it takes the contrast in the back off.
Yeah, that's not really helpful. It's okay with that, but then half my face is blanked out. Turn my.
I will say that. So I fully agree with this statement. By the way, Joe Galley does deserve better. He is a very good announcer, and he's a good human being that I like. So he should be doing more stuff. But anyway, we have other people actually scheduled to join us this morning. So allegedly, one is someone that we talked about having on Wednesday's show, and that's Sean Logan, depending on where you've seen him. We talked about him joining us on Wednesday. It turns out, and I swear to God, this is what happened. The Verizon cell tower near him, his words, I swear, went out. His cell service gone. I don't know where he lives. I have an area code. I don't know where he lives exactly, that there is one cell tower that works for him. But either way, he's joining us at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, and he's going to talk about his Raw experience because he had a busy night that night. So looking forward to him. And of course, at one point, because he dropped not one, but two features in the last 24 hours, Cam Hawkins will be here because that's just what we do. Cam does something, Cam shows up. It's kind of the unwritten rule now. Whenever he posted the thing with him and Cody having a 15-second chat, and I was like, well, guess we'll see you on Friday. And he was like, bet. And here we are. So he'll be joining us at one point this morning as well. We got plenty to talk about, though, in the world of professionalized styles of wrestling.
Do we?
No, not really. Double pins, and then someone just runs in the middle of the match. That's what we should do. That's how all of our matches should end. All of our shows should end with us. They should always end with us right in the middle of something.
I was so mad that they did a double pin and then they just didn't do a time limit draw after that. That's what I was hoping for. Instead, we got the salted Konosuke Takeshita coming in there and making a double DQ and thus pissing off the fans.
It's funny because I'm listening to a 5-year ago interview that TK did with Wade Keller. And there's two things that really stand out to me. One of them is TK being like, I don't want to do this or that in pro wrestling that I'm seeing nowadays, like unused DQs and time limit draws and all this stuff. And I'm like, you're doing all of those things. In fact, on your 5-year anniversary show, you did both of those things. But again, 5 years ago, things and stories do change. The other one that really makes me laugh is, for those who know, Wade Keller's never been the biggest fan of Shane McMahon, the wrestler. He's always thought like he was doing, the punches and he was like, how did he call it? He was like fantasy camp wrestling was how he put it, where he gets to work with all the big stars over and so on and so forth. And Wade used to go off on like huge tangents about this. It was very funny. And then at one point they're talking about Tony and Wade about how much they have in common. And they get into like the Oxford comma and little nitpicky things that they both have in common because they're both very particular about certain things in life. If you haven't noticed, especially about TK. And then he makes a reference to Shane McMahon. He says, so how do you feel about Shane McMahon? And I was like, 5 years ago, that meant nothing. Today, replaying this interview, it means everything. And it's so funny. And of course, like TK doesn't have anything to say about Shane in 2019, but like in 2024, asking that same thing would be absolutely hilarious because you'll get a completely different answer in that you'll actually get one. Oh, it's good stuff.
I hope this all ends with Shane McMahon. I'm on board at this point. Let's just go for it.
Let's go.
It's a terrible idea. It's a god awful idea. Don't get me wrong, but I'm all for it. I'm all for this terrible idea.
Me too, baby. I've been pitching it since it started. We're back, and it's going to be Shane-erific. I'm very excited for this. We'll tackle the super chat. Matthew Hook's asking, who should answer Darby's challenge? Adam Cole, Bobby Lashley. Find out this Saturday on AEW Collision when you discover who will be answering Darby Allin's challenge. And it's no longer AEW Wrestle Dream on Saturday, October 12th. It is now Ring of Honor and AEW present Wrestle Dream, as 2 Ring of Honor championships are currently on the line at Wrestle Dream. The one's on the 0 hour, but it's still part of the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, don't. If you've read the spoilers for Collision, do not put it in the chat. I like to remain. I like people who want to be spoiler free to remain spoiler free. That's why I don't do this on our TNA post show either. When I know the results, I don't give up what's going on the next week. It's just So leave it out of there, please. Either way, you'll find out on Saturdays. As far as I'll go,
I don't think it'll be Bobby Lashley. I will say that much.
Don't think
it'll be Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, I think Lashley's got bigger swerves to fry.
If it's not Monty Brown, I'm going to be pretty disappointed.
That's true. It'd be all about that.
Yeah,
Monty Brown would be great. Someone asking why I'm not in the library. I was at the library yesterday doing work. I went to the Toronto Reference Library again, where you and I did our thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought about this too, Ryan.
Ryan Lambert saying
JBL is backing Mox. I thought about that.
The greatest shooter in the world.
I mentioned that, I think, on the spotlight yesterday, that it might be JVL. I also thought it might be the Bear that Bryan Danielson famously has beef with. He's going to return. I think that's the best payoff, honestly, if they just have a bear. It's the Cocaine Bear, and he's hanging out with Jon Moxley in the Blackpool Combat Club, and he just wants revenge on Bryan Danielson. I feel like that's the best possible outcome.
We've been talking about changing the name from the Blackpool Combat Club. Now we got a name. It'll be the Black Bear Combat Club.
There you go. The Cocaine Bear Combat Club is what it needs to be.
My goodness. Someone
CBCC, C Cocaine Bear, B CC. Yeah. CBCC. Yeah. That's not difficult to say or anything.
For Canadians, it's easy because the CBC is the Canadian Broadcasting Company, and then you just add an extra C at the end.
So the chef off the bear. I like him. I like that actor. I can't think of his name. He was in Iron Call as well, and he did Shameless. He's very good. Just going around. Yes, chef. No chef. That'd be great.
Suck on my chocolate salty balls, chef.
Oh, different chef. It's not Jeremy Irons. It's not Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy Irons being chef would be great. Oh, Necro. Not him anymore. He's got too. He's busy for the next month. He's got flags to put up.
Jeremy Allen White. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, it's definitely not Jeremy Irons, but good reference there. I like him.
So yeah,
hands. He just says I need hands, and instead of getting the dish, just throwing hands on everybody.
As one does.
Yeah.
So I mean, since we're talking about the Mox stuff, should we talk about the match that precedes it? Okada and Danielson have a 35-minute match that
they gotta shorten these things. Stop it. Stop giving me these long wrestling matches on my wrestling show.
What happened to my 22-minute match where after 20 minutes it all just ends because the Continental Championship's no longer on the on the line?
The thing is it was a really good match. I'm not gonna sit here and say it wasn't. It was a really good match. But their best match was at Wrestle Kingdom, and that was their shortest match. Sometimes it's just better to have a little bit of a shorter match. I know they wanted to go long and they wanted to, really, it was a big celebration. So I get it. They wanted to have just a longer match and everything. But sometimes you just need to shorten these matches a little bit.
You just got to hit them with a quick squash with the surprise moments. But we didn't get that. We got the full on match. Listen, like you said, very good match, very fun match. I don't love the whole the Continental Championship's not on the line after 20 minutes because I get it. It's a 20-minute. It's it just
you dorks need to stop complaining about this. Jim Ross.
We're all big.
Jim Ross. Jim Ross is on his podcast. and is like, I get it. I don't need some college education to understand what was doing. If Jim Ross,
this isn't about college education. I hate that that's the thing, by the way, with MJF being like, the NASA and FBI, you need to tell these dorks what. Like, shut up, dude. I get what the hell this is. I understand what the premise of the match is. I just think it's a stupid idea to put it in the match and be like, oh, it's a 20-minute time limit. Yeah, I understand it's a 20-minute time limit that the Continental Championship has. I also understand the world title, which is your world title, should be above all of these things. So it should completely circumvent the 20-minute championship time limit on one title. If you do that in a double championship match, the championship that is most important, in this case the world championship, should not have a time limit attached to it. This is just a weak way to get out of having Okada drop the Continental Championship and put a second title on Danielson. And you weren't going to wonk the finish, because guess what? You just wonked the opening finish. So either put one title on the line or both titles on the line, or neither, and just call it a who's the best match.
How's it a weak way to get out of putting the title off Danielson or off of Okada? Because Danielson was going to win anyway. They were going to go long probably anyway.
Then why did you agree? Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, why did you put both titles, quote unquote, on the line if you're going to beat Okada and you're not going to give the title to Daniel? Like, it was just a very silly way to do it, just to keep the title on Okada and also have Okada suffer a loss, which again, Danielson, completely understand it. They've had a great rivalry. They've had great matches. If someone's going to eat the loss to Okada, or someone like Okada is going to eat a loss, Danielson makes perfect sense. But doing it with the titles was just a stupid way to do it. It doesn't, there's no stake there.
There is stake.
All they told you was that this match was going to go more than 20 minutes, and then Danielson was probably going to win. Not even probably, Danielson was going to win. That's all they were telling you by telling you that the first 20 minutes is a Continental Championship match as well. Either put both titles on the line or no title on the line, and put
both titles were on the line.
Put preference on the title. Don't give me two different scenarios in which a title can change hands under which doesn't matter. Like the under 20 minutes, all titles are on the line. Like, why would you do that? And don't, again, you can try to explain it to me, but if the most important title is on the line, it should take precedence that the most important championship is the reason that you're fighting. The other thing is just another title. So that
title was on the line too, though.
They did, and that's why there should be no time limit on either title, or one time limit on both titles, not two different time limits where one's on the line for this 20 minutes and then the world championship is a 60-minute. No, if it's going to be both, put the world title and the continental title on the same plane. It's a 60-minute time limit, winner take all.
But they're not on the same plane.
But then why did you put both on the line at all then?
Because they're both champions.
So they've done it before where they've been for one title and not the other. You're putting both titles on the line. So giving a 20-minute time limit for one is a silly way just to say that we're not going to have we're not going to have a winner other than the world champion. And we're also not going to put the other title on the other guy.
I liked it because they got too many titles. And now we all know that the Continental title has a 20-minute time limit. Now you know. You're never going to forget this now, because you're always going to go back to, hey, remember when the world title and the Continental title were on the line and the Continental title was only on the line for 20 minutes? You're always going to remember the 20-minute time limit for the Continental title now. They'll never have to explain this gimmick to you again. You will now, it's forever embedded in your mind. And now when you complain, oh, there's too many titles, not you, general you. Yeah. Well, there's too many titles. They got a title here and a title there and a title over here and a title up there and a title under the bridge and blah, 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 titles. You know what title you're going to know? That Continental title, because it's got that 20-minute time limit. Loved it.
They do enough time limit draws that I think people have figured out that there are other titles with time limits.
Remember when Okada went to a time limit draw with Claudio, and Claudio was like, let me just go after these trios titles instead.
Well, look at him now. He's waiting for Shane McMahon to come in and give him a rub on the top of his bald head. Listen, man, again, the match was great. I'm not at all going to say that the wrestlers didn't do the wrestling. It was just such a stupid way to do it, in my opinion.
It did basically tell you this match is just going over 20 minutes. That's all I was That's the only thing to me. I was like, okay, well, we're going at least 20 minutes on this thing because Danielson ain't winning, and they're not going to do a finish in the first 20 minutes. It's like, all right, fine. Don't do that. Don't go over 20 minutes, period. Just
17 is
shorter matches.
17 is a sweet spot. Yeah, nothing like wrestling a bald man's head. Oh, did you shave today? Yeah, fresh just before I went out, brother.
17 to 19 minutes. That's the spot.
Right, telling you, man, making the Intercontinental Championship. That's the way to go.
Who was it? And this may have been Jim Ross as well, his podcast. He's like, yeah, and Ospreay and Ricochet and Ospreay's defending the Continental, the Intercontinental, the International Championship. And Conrad's like, yeah, I think it's the International Championship. I don't friggin' know all these damn titles that they have.
And that's the one thing that like is very funny to me with wrestling podcast hosts, where it's like you have to show reverence to the person who you're hosting with. So like Conrad had to be like, yeah, I think it's that one. When meanwhile he's like, yes, it's that one, you old idiot. Like you forgot. That's okay.
No, I don't think Conrad knew either because Conrad was struggling as well.
No way. Was he?
Yes.
Come on. What are we doing?
Conrad was struggling as well with this.
He needs to show up on Dynamite and ask more questions.
They were both struggling on this one.
Should be bringing Connie out to the post production. It's to the post show pressers.
They got distracted by all the flips. They got distracted by all the flips in that match.
In that match or in the opening contest? Oh, and I guess in the International Championship.
That was the opening contest.
You're right.
Watch the product.
No, I don't want to.
What do you think of this match, Joel? You want to bury it? I feel like this match, you hated it.
What, Ricochet and Ospreay?
Yeah.
I can't hate what I already expected.
I mean, I can.
I could.
If you expect shit, you still be like, "Ah, that was some good shit." Like you'd still hate it.
It was fine. Honestly, it was.
Bury it, Joel. It's much funnier.
No, because I don't need the dorks doing what they dorks do. My favorite part was someone completely shitting on it on the internet, and then Ricochet being like, "Shut up," and that's it. Whatever, man. It was fine. It was what it was. I don't love the way that they did the wonk. Again, they wonked the finish and then had Takeshita come out just to make it a 3-way for Wrestle Dream. This is something we talked about last week where I said AEW is kind of at the mercy of their own schedule where they set up, they had All In, then 2 weeks later they had All Out, and then 2 weeks later they had Grand Slam, and then the next week was 5-year anniversary, and then next week is Title Tuesday, and it's a Tuesday show already. So as important as it is, you've got a pay-per-view on the 12th, which is that Saturday night, and you've got a bunch of tape collision going on. So the people already know what's happening, and they're not really paying as much attention. Rampages. Like it's been tougher for them to keep people as entertained and making every show as important when every show is suddenly very important from the stretch of late August into mid-October. And like, that's something that they're going to have to deal with, which I said it, I think they will next year because Grand Slam, I'm guessing, is either no longer going to be at Arthur Ashe because they're moving it. Grand Slam is February in Australia. So I have to assume they're not going to do it twice in 1 year. And if they do an Arthur Ashe show, maybe they find a different time. I don't know if that's possible, but it just feels like you got to break up all of this craziness between what was All In and Wrestle Dream at this point, because not every show should be a special show, because then a 5-year anniversary show is not nearly as special.
No, that was a special show.
I felt like it was. There was some stuff that felt like it was missing. Like I know they had Jericho and they had Mercedes. It dropped Mercedes. I'm talking like some of the day oneers. Like, I wish there had been a little bit more, maybe just even backstage interviews or just backstage segments. So here's the thing, because I want to use someone like Sammy Guevara, but I'm also very well aware that earlier tonight, Sammy had gotten knocked out in a match in Ring of Honor, and so he obviously couldn't do it. But he's someone that I would have had a pre-tape or something in the way for. Saying Taz is missing is a good point, because Taz, again, was a day one guy. I understand now they're doing a thing with him that'll hopefully play out. Did he actually, or are they just saying it because of
that was a real thing?
I know it was planned. I didn't know if that was something that he'd finally done. Or again, pre-tapes. Just, I feel like some of the gravitas of making it 5 years didn't feel so big. Even Jericho was like less about the 5-year anniversary and more about his own wrestling anniversary, which is a character thing No MJF. That was another one. No Omega. And I don't even need a coming back soon. I just know that Kenny Omega's out there in the ethos, something from him. People saying no Swerve, no Tony, no Adam Copeland, something. And again, I don't think that if Adam Copeland shows up not even shows up, sends in a video on a show where he's going to return in a few months, I don't think that's going to take away from his eventual return or the return pop. So it just felt like there were certain things that they could have had a little bit more. I'm not saying they had to have Cody. Cody would have been a hilarious addition to something so ridiculous. But like the Bucks coming out and doing their shtick was like, okay, fine, or whatever. But it felt like the show just missed some stuff. I understand, again, MJF's filming the movie, but he could cut a promo. He's not injured. Swerve.
He is.
Which one?
MJF. He is injured.
Well, you could still have him cut a promo at home being like, I'm hurt, but I'm the best, and the show is shit without me.
In story, he's out.
Is he out? Oh, you got stretchered out again? Was that at all in or at all out?
Yeah.
Can't remember what happened yesterday, so give me a break. But either way, but it's been a month. My point is, there were certain people. Tony's in Stardom. She's still active. Swerve has been in the media. He was on Breakfast Club. Like, he's been around. Talked about Adam Copeland already. We know that he's okay, thankfully, after everything that happened in North Carolina. Yeah, there just could have been some more added to this. No big Cracker Barrel. Could have done that. Don't know who you'd have in the match anymore, but you could have done it. Darby versus himself, because no one else was in that match.
I will say this. Two quick thoughts. I'm gonna circle back around to Will Ospreay and Ricochet. I like that they did the callback to the Best of Super Juniors spot.
Yeah.
The issue is they're older.
It's been 7 years.
It looked like they just like did it because they knew they had to do it, and there wasn't that. It wasn't that like, oh, this is something that, where we really believe in doing. It's like, all right, let's get this thing out of the way, pop the people. The crowd cheered. Look, it worked, but they move. They're a little bit bigger. They put on a lot of muscle over the years. They don't move like they used to. It happens. But like, I still appreciated that they did it, and the crowd loved it, and that's the main thing that matters. Like, the live crowd thought it was fantastic.
Of course.
The other comment is, I don't disagree with you on the show, just didn't feel that big. So, like, as people may or may not know, I could have gone to the show. It was an hour and a half away from me. And like, when Danielson and Okada was announced, I was like, ooh, yeah, I kind of want to see this, but there are other circumstances, and I knew where I needed to be and where I wanted to be. After the show was over, I didn't feel like I missed much. I didn't have that like sense of, man, I really wish I would have gone to this show. I hate that we missed this show. It would have been nice if we would have been able to go. Instead, it was over. I was like, all right, let's watch Love is Blind, because I'm over this. Like, it was a fine show. It wasn't anything bad. I don't care that much that they didn't put like a whole lot of, oh, let's have this guy cut a promo. Let's have that guy cut a promo. Focus on the stuff you're actually doing. You don't need to all do, because they did some celebration stuff. They did do like, hey, here's this moment, here's that moment. Like, they did do that kind of stuff, but they didn't. I don't think they wanted to, like, Adam Copeland just cutting a promo. It's like, oh yeah, remember when Adam Copeland was here? Like, don't let stuff get in the way of what you were going to actually do. But it didn't feel like this grandiose show that is like, oh man, you really missed something if you weren't there. And even like Danielson and Okada, like I was saying, like, it was a really great match, but it didn't feel like this, oh man, I really missed out on something like monumental by not being there.
If this wasn't touted as the 5-year anniversary show, then this show would have been much better to me, because they did advance stories, and they did have, again, they're setting up stuff for Wrestle Dream, which I appreciate, because like I said a few minutes earlier, you have all of these big shows that you're trying to push, but no show is actually big enough in the eyes of many people, and it doesn't come off as big time. And as a result, these shows they're not special, but you're being told they're special. Meanwhile, on the actual like storytelling front of what's going on Dynamite, like, you have Jay White come back. You've got the Moxley story. You've got what's going on with Ricochet, Ospreay, and Takeshita. You've got what's going on with Private Party and the Young Bucks. Like even that's moving forward. There's a lot of like stuff coming around. You've got even the return of Dr. Britt Baker and having the match with Serena Deeb and having Mariah May sit at ringside. Like you're setting up a few things. Mercedes coming out and doing the whole like, here's the best part about about the last 5 years of Dynamite, and it's all her. While it was expected, it worked. Stuff like that will work. But when you're calling this like the 5th year anniversary show and you're pushing and pushing and pushing it as such a big deal, it doesn't come off big time in the end. The show itself, take out the 5 year anniversary, show was good. I enjoy a lot of it. It just could have been better without all of the pomp and circumstance of saying it's our 5 year anniversary, because you expect more, much like WWE RAW 25th anniversary, their 30th anniversary, whatever it's going to be. That WWE is going to go ridiculously all out. TNA Impact 20th anniversary show, they did the same thing. They went all out. The 1000th episode of Impact, they went all out and they did the nostalgia stuff. They brought out stuff. They made it matter. 5th year anniversary didn't matter as much as it did. It was another show.
I can't put that fully on AEW. We're comparing 20, 25 years to 5. Yes, there's a lot more history to play off of with 20 years.
But you're still playing off a history of your television show.
But again, I think they did that with the video packages and everything. And I don't think they wanted to just like, hey, here's Adam Copeland. Adam Copeland is going through stuff in North Carolina right now. Like he posted a video on Instagram that I don't even know. He was even like, yeah, we don't have Wi-Fi. I don't know if this is getting posted. And it cuts off in the middle of it. I don't even know if like Copeland could really even film anything while everything going on. I'm sure Dynamite 5th anniversary, no offense to it, it was kind of not really on his mind with everything else going on. So I can even understand why Tony didn't bother to reach out to Copeland. Like, hey, I know you kind of got this happening, but can you film something for 5th anniversary for us? Kenny, he's out in storyline. So I can understand not using him. Swerve's out in storyline. MJF is out in storyline.
Kenny's an EVP that has been on socials for like talking and on New Japan socials, like it's publicly. And again, you can't tell me, no, because this is the most like online company of all of them that like you can't just ignore that Kenny Omega is appearing on the partners programming. Same thing with Toni Storm. You can't just ignore that she is appearing and wrestling on the partners programming. Like you needed it. Yeah, a poem from Jake Hager would have been nice.
One, Kenny's not really appearing on the partners programming. He did a New Japan YouTube video. It's not like he's at New Japan shows. 2, you don't want to put Kenny on there with no expectation of when he's going to come back. Because people see Kenny, like, oh, is he close? We don't know. I wouldn't. That's a dangerous expectation to set up.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is for him to say 5 years. We did this. We're looking forward to many more. Quick in and out, 15 seconds. That's it. That's all you need. No one's going to say, oh my God, he's coming back. They're going to say, no, it's Kenny Omega EVP, one of the creators and founders of this company, showing up and on a video, a shot on his iPhone, for Christ's sake, saying, good for us. Here's to many more. That's it. Nobody saw, who did the crossover stuff for, was it Jericho who did the Cena stuff?
I think so. Sure.
I mean, nobody saw Jericho.
Brian.
Yeah. Nobody saw those two and said, oh my God, they're coming back to WWE next week.
Well, yeah, because they were signed to AEW. This is not a fair comparison.
It is a fair comparison because if you take a 10-second spot, no one's going to say he's coming back. They're just going to be like, okay, Kenny's witching the company that he helped found.
They're not going to say he's coming back. You just talked about how online this fan base is and how they set expectations. We're talking about setting expectations for a 5th anniversary. They didn't say you were going to get all of this stuff. They just said we're celebrating 5 years. And then you're talking about being disappointed because your expectation was you wanted more. So you're telling me that if they do a Kenny Omega, if you're telling me they do a Kenny Omega video, people aren't going to be like, Kenny's back. Kenny's on the program. Oh, when's Kenny going to return? You're telling me that's not going to happen?
Sure, there are going to be people saying that, but it's the same thing that I said with Copeland. It wouldn't take away from the actual pop when they do come back. The idea here is that you're celebrating who you've got And whether they're out or not, they're still appearing. Like, they're still not in front of a crowd. They're still saying, congratulations, we've done it, and we're going to continue to do it. It's a good way to at least take that victory lap and show that you've been a part of it.
But they showed videos. Like, they did videos for all of this stuff.
That's fine. But my point
they
was,
celebrated with videos.
Yes, they've celebrated with videos, but some of the people who are still working there could have actually sent something new and fresh in. Again, 10 seconds. Happy anniversary, AEW. Happy we did it. Here we are. Blah, blah, blah. We did it. We're going to do it more. New TV. They're going to talk about a new TV deal. They could just say, we're going to continue doing it in the future.
Well, they talked about the TV deal. They mentioned that.
No, but I mean, like, whoever says whatever they say in a video, they don't have to be like, "Oh, we got a new TV deal," but instead just being like, "And we're going to keep doing it in the future for, here's more to come." There you
your
go.
Expectations were too high.
I'm not ready to come back yet.
years.
I just wanted to chime in and say thank you for 5 years. Here's more to come. Proud to be an EVP at AEW. Easy.
Yeah, people are still going to be like, hey, when's Kenny coming back?
That's fine. Those dorks can go off and they can do whatever they want. It's all about how you film it. Let's talk about the Jericho.
Well, you're the one that's being disappointed that this stuff didn't happen for a 5-year anniversary show.
Yeah, I think it could have been more. I just think there could have been more to celebrate the fact that they've done 5 years as a quote unquote challenger brand that's found success, and they have more success to come.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe they didn't think that 5 years was a big deal. Maybe they announced the TV deal. They're like, yeah, we did 5 years. We expected to do 5 years. Now we're going to do 15. Now we're going to do 25. Now we're going to do 50. Act like you've been there before. This ain't their first time scoring a touchdown. You hand the ball to the referee. You go on. You kick the extra point. You get ready for the next series.
Chris Jericho comes out and he does the learning tree. What do you think about this match? What that's being set up between Jericho and Mark Briscoe for the Ring of Honor World Championship? Not a Final Battle, which is the next Ring of Honor pay-per-view in December, presumably.
Ring of Honor.
Instead, it'll be at Wrestle Dream.
I think I told you all this would happen, so you're welcome.
You warned us all this would happen.
No,
getting us there. Getting us there. The promo, the your brother was better than you. How did you feel about that?
I didn't think much about it, honestly. And I don't know if people want me to have some strong opinion one way or another. I didn't think that much about it. It was all right. He mentioned Jay and then Mark. I like that Mark dropped the, kind of, I don't want to say over the top, like, let's say a bunch of big words, kind of go rambling promo. Like, he had a very serious tone in his voice afterwards. And I love that from Mark. I assume Mark was fine with it. Otherwise it wouldn't have been done. And okay. Do I think it's like necessary to do this stuff? No. But does any of it surprise me? Or do I think am I going to be offended by it? No, because again, I assume that the wrestlers sign off on it. So it's all right. That's their decision to do it.
I just thought it was cheap and ineffective.
Okay.
That's all it was. Redmond Survivor saying Jericho.
Was it ineffective though?
Yeah, I think it was. I think I rolled my eyes more than I thought. Ooh, because it just wasn't. It's like, okay, your brother was better than you, and now he's dead. It's like, oh, okay, sure. That was, and I just, again, rolled my eyes. I didn't think it was. You can do this stuff with Christian because when Christian goes to a deceased family member, he talks about replacing them, and it's kind of jokey. Yeah, Big Man Dog saying the crowd didn't really react either. And when Christian does it, there is the ooh because the insinuation is that I will be your new father figure. I will be your new daddy. Jericho didn't say something like, I'm going to be Jericho Briscoe after Chris Briscoe after this. I'm going to replace your brother. It was, I'm going to beat you because you suck and your brother was a better wrestler. It's like, just didn't, to me, it didn't hit. It just felt boring.
I don't think it was ineffective just because of what it brought out of Mark. Now, could you have gotten there in a different way? Sure. But this is the way they chose. But that's why I don't think it was ineffective, is because there was actually an actual shift in Mark because of it. If Mark then just still does the same thing and like doesn't really have a reaction and is still just going to be Chicken Farmer Mark Briscoe, then it's ineffective. But the way that he reacted to it, to me, so showed there was an effectiveness to the statement. Again, could they have done this same thing, gotten the same reaction, and with different lines? Yes, it's a scripted television show. You can script it to where Jericho could have said something about like, "Hey, all your chickens are gay. You're a gay chicken lover." And then South Park reference for everybody who does it.
Thank you for clearing that up.
Yes, I know. It's going to get clipped. It
would have been into oblivion.
Yes. Like you could have said that and Mark could have reacted the same way. So you can script him to react to this kind of stuff. So yeah, he could have done this the same way, but I thought the way they scripted it, it was effective for that.
Sure. That's fair. The content of it just kind of meh. That's how I felt. What else was there on the show? Well, I mean, we should probably actually get into the is it Shane McMahon conversation. We should also let's hit these couple super chats we got. Will Chisholm saying, remember when JR said we'll be right back on WWE Dynamite? Of course, that was years ago. Should have been one of the videos that they ran. JR-isms. And then the other one, he said, you mean the day ones like Ricky Starks, Lucha Brothers, Cody, and Daniel Garcia? I wonder why they weren't on the show. I mean, these are a few people. There have been other wrestlers who have been with the company day one and who were on the show. Again, Private Party is a good example of this. They beat the Young Bucks. Like that was the big deal. And now they're going to come around to that just because those guys specifically who are in the news for contract reasons, and Cody is Cody, doesn't mean that they doesn't mean that everybody who's a day oneer isn't, around to do something to celebrate the 5 years. So who's Moxley's guy?
What if like it's just there is no one? What if Moxley is just it's a voice inside of his head of saying he needs to save professional wrestling for Bryan Danielson? This is not the way that he wants to do professional wrestling.
Hold on, it's a voice. What is this? Season 8 of House, or season 6, where he has the delusions and he hears Amber. Pardon? You never seen House? Okay, so in one of the seasons of House, he's taking too many drugs that eventually he starts hallucinating. That he's one of the people that he is, because he's the teacher, right? It's a teaching hospital. One of his students, who is I forget the name of, anyway, her name is Amber. She dies, and then he starts seeing her in these hallucinations because he thinks that he's the reason why she died, and then he starts seeing other hallucinations. So long story short, are we trying to say that we are going to Dr. House John Moxley? John Moxley sees the face and body of George Hackenschmidt?
Maybe.
Okay. It's great. That's a great way to end the season, because then they carted off House to an insane asylum.
I thought it might be Wheeler Yuta.
Yuta is the guy? Yuta's the guy?
Yeah, and Moxley feels he needs to do this because Yuta doesn't understand. Because Yuta's been more Danielson's pupil person, right? Danielson always talks about Yuta and training him and all this stuff, but it was the fights with Moxley that got Yuta into the Blackpool Combat Club. So it's not that like Wheeler Yuta is the one controlling him or anything like that. It's more, again, an idea type of thing of like, I got to do this to show guys like Wheeler Yuta that this is the correct way to do things. So again, it's not so much a person, it's an idea.
What if it's Christopher Daniels, the higher power?
No.
What if it's Dixie Carter back to reign supreme?
No.
What if it's Jim Cornette, seen the lights?
No.
Oh, he ran Ring of Honor once upon a time. Bro, what if it's DDP? What if it's Rikishi? He did it for The Rock, so he's doing it now for the people. I did it for the Mox. What if it's The Rock? He's back because he needs to run AEW because WWE, he let them down. He let the fans down. What if it's Tony Khan this time? And this is his way of getting back at the Elite. What if it's Eric Bischoff? Bischoff has seen the light, and he's bringing Jonathan Coachman with them, and now they're going to turn around AEW. Chat's got it on this one. What if it's Dan Lambert? America's top team is back. Jeremy Lambert's excited. Dan Lambert is here. Speed Punk says he thinks it was someone online saying it might be Eddie Kingston. Well, now it's Eddie Kingston, who hates Blackpool Combat Club but loves messing with Jon Moxley. I am insane, by the way, to the person asking me. Jean-Claude Van Damme, it's a Time Cop tie-in. I'm good with that. It's not Scott D'Amore. I don't think it would be as impactful. Someone's saying it's Shad Khan's going to come in. He's going to be the character. Could be that. Maybe they get a 6-sided ring in AEW. Maybe it's Andrew Zarian. Maybe he's been just teasing us the entire time. Okay, that's good. Wheeler Yuta's going to turn and use the hammer on Bryan Danielson next Tuesday anyway. So what are we doing here? Shane McMahon. Got it. I'm glad we had this conversation, as one-sided as it was. Shane McMahon is here to run AEW. And he's going to be absolutely a joy to handle. Is there anything you'd like to add to this?
No, I said what I said, and then you threw out just a bunch of nothing ideas, and I was trying to have a discussion about things, but we can move on.
I was having a discussion. I was bringing up names that could come back and run the show.
Well, you were throwing out a bunch of jokes instead of like having a discussion about the segment and what it could actually be.
You know you've done this to me before, right?
Yeah, I have.
And then I never stonewall you on it?
Okay.
So you decide to stonewall me instead?
Yeah.
Instead of playing up the joke for entertainment, which is what we're here for?
Nah.
Because wrestling isn't really that serious?
Nah.
But you're trying to make it serious?
Nah.
Yeet.
Oh, speak, bitch. Come on now.
What you got? What do you want me to tell you? It's the voice inside his head. And the voice is silent right now. So the whole thing is going to be, it's going to lead to Moxley doing nothing but winning a title.
What do you actually think, Joel? That's what I want to know. Like, where do you think this is going? Do you think it truly is Shane McMahon?
Yeah, why not? Shane's got a
why not? Like, what? I want an actual
with every single person who's in this group.
Okay,
he can be an investor, a consortium. He's going to run the show. He's going to do it because he can take charge, because he's got the money. He is the money man.
This is your true thought. No jokes.
Sure, we've been talking about it for weeks.
Why is it sure? Like, you're making it seem like it's not. You're just like, yeah, sure, this is my thought.
Yeah, because we've been talking about it for weeks.
Okay.
And then you asked me if I'm serious, and I'm like, yeah, we've been talking about it for weeks.
Okay. So you think Shane McMahon's behind all of this?
Yeah, why not? This guy's got a background with Marina Shafir, Claudio, Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley. He's taken out Bryan Danielson in the past. Has worked with him, worked against him. Has had back and forth with Moxley. Once saw something in Marina Shafir. Never really saw something in Claudio, but had him on his show and eventually put him together with a tag team partner at one point. There's something there.
Okay. I think Shane, as much as I don't think it makes full sense in the AEW world, and I don't think it'd be great for AEW to bring in Shane McMahon. It popped me, and I think it'd be hilarious. So I'm all for it. I understand the tie-ins to it. Do you have anything else besides not Shane McMahon? Like actual people you think of where this story might go if it's not Shane McMahon?
No.
Okay.
Because at this point, who are you going to do? You're going to bring in Josh Barnett?
Yeah, why not?
Just Bloodsport?
Yeah.
Sure. Again, like, doesn't feel very impactful to me. Because Barnett's shown up once and lost to Claudio, and that was it. It's basically all you've seen of him. What impact does he have as a potential leader of this thing, because Moxley is pointing this out as he's being forced to do it, as if this is a greater good involved, as if this is someone pulling strings on him. Who pulls the strings? Josh Barnett doesn't really make much sense. Wheeler Yuta would be a weird one too. I get it. Maybe you're going to make Yuta the big leader and it's a big swerve that he saw it all and he didn't trust anybody. Sure, that's fine. Is it going to uplift Yuta? I don't know.
But it's not making, at least my idea, it's not making Wheeler Yuta the leader of anything. It is effectively breaking Yuta from Danielson. And again, the idea is the power here. Thoughts are power, not people.
Yuta came out on Wednesday with the hammer and basically told you without telling you that he's going to turn on Danielson on Tuesday.
I didn't fully read that he was going to turn on Danielson.
The hammer was Moxley's weapon of choice.
Yes. Well, because the hammer was brought into the ring by them, right? Or did Yuta come out with the hammer?
So they took it out from under the ring. It was a toolbox. He had his choice of anything when he went after Private Party, and he picked the hammer.
Yes.
This time around, I'm fairly certain that Yuta came out with the hammer.
I thought the hammer was already in the ring, and that's why Moxley wanted him to hit him with the hammer. And this goes back to my point of, I think it could be the idea. Jon Moxley wants to bring out this rage in Wheeler Yuta. These are the kind of people that he wants. You know, when he was talking about this is not your company anymore, he wants the people who are going to go and fight and scratch and claw and not just, oh, I'm going to be a fighting champion. I'm just going to have these great wrestling matches like he thinks Bryan Danielson is trying to do. He wants guys who are going to, get a little violent, get a little gritty out there. And that's why he wanted Wheeler Yuta to strike him.
Sure. We don't know who came out with, did he come out with the hammer or did it appear there? Was it already there? Are you looking for that, or are you scrubbing through Dynamite to see?
Yeah, I'm checking, but God forbid that AEW YouTube is.
Oh no, they're just going to give you the highlights in that. They're not going to tell you what. They're just giving you what you want to see. So, go ahead. Yeah, you got some?
Yeah. Right now it's just Jon Moxley yelling at Bryan Danielson as he's being chipped by Marino here.
Big ol' yapper, that Jon Moxley.
So Yuta's about to come out here in a second. At some point, he will make his way to the ring.
It really takes his time.
Yeah, he sees Danielson just chilling, and then he just. So Yuta does come out with the hammer. So we've now confirmed that Yuta does come out with the hammer.
Yeah, he's going to use that hammer.
All right,
on Tuesday.
Or he's turn.
If they don't turn him on Tuesday, then they'll just turn him at Wrestle Dream. But then the reveal gets pushed back even further. Whatever. Oh, or the reveal is Yuta and blah blah blah. Here we are. And what Yuta's going to say, it was my idea. I did it.
No, again, I don't think it was. Yuta has anything to do with it was my idea. I did anything. Yuta's not he's not some type of power here. It is Jon Moxley to explain of this is what I wanted. This is why I did this, to show people like Wheeler Yuta, this is the way to get shit done around here. Not the way Bryan Danielson does things. Yuta fell in line. Everybody else is going to fall in line. Yuta's he's not the person pulling strings here. It's an idea.
This feels a little not wrestling. I don't know how people are going to take to that.
Why? Why is it not wrestling?
Because, don't get me wrong, Chad, I don't think that this is you. These conversations happen because we have ideas. Wrestling fan X, not in tune with a lot of nuanced storytelling.
I disagree with that. Isn't that the whole why WWE is so great right now? Because, look at all the nuances here, and look at all the subtle hints that they are dropping, and look at all the
at its core, the storytelling is still very simple and simplistic.
This is simple.
That's how we call a lot of it, is because it's very simple and simplistic.
But is this not simple and simplistic? The idea is Jon Moxley thinks the company should be run this way, and he's going to do these things to show it. It's very laid out.
Why is Yuta so willing to suddenly fall in line just because he sees his mentor get beat up? Why does he turn and join that group?
Well, I don't think he turns at on Tuesday. I don't think he just randomly turns in this tag team match on Tuesday.
Well, yeah, then we'll leave it to Wrestle Dream.
I don't even know if it's potentially Wrestle Dream. Like at some point it happens, but he does because he sees that Jon Moxley, the way Jon Moxley is doing things is the way it should get done. He remembers, and Moxley's got to explain this. But Moxley cuts the promo of like, how'd you get into Blackpool Combat Club? It's because you bled buckets against me. It's because of the wars that we went through against each other. That's why you got in this group. Not because you could do 500 neck bridges after running up the mountains. Gives a shit about that.
Could be. Again, I'm not against it. I just don't know how fans are going to react to it. It's all about how you tell that story. If you do it like that, yeah, they might be more inclined to be a part of it and to go along for the ride.
It's gonna just end up being Eric Bischoff.
Let's go. And if it is Eric Bischoff, I know just the guy who's going to write the best feature about it. He joins us now from the Ringer, from Complex, from everywhere in the world. Cam Hawkins is here. Good morning.
Hi, guys. How's it going?
Oh, just tense on a Friday. How you feeling?
Yeah. I'm so excited about this nap in 2 hours. You have no idea. It's going to be lovely. It's everything I've ever dreamed of. It absolutely is.
It's Friday, though. This is what you do. You go and you have a busy week and you go for a nap, and then you wake up to all the praise, and everyone feels good about it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. This one was a little different because, everybody, not everybody, but, they thought that Thursday was the thing. And then Friday is also the thing. And there's a lot of things this week. It's been a busy time. That's the word for it. Busy is the word. Yeah.
So Complex, you drop a Cody Rhodes feature, and then over on the Ringer is an interview with Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Just so people are aware, that's where you can pick them up. The Ringer is a Shawn Michaels feature. Cody Rhodes is on Complex. So there you go, the C and the C, and then Shawn with the Ringer. Cody's a pretty straightforward one. You kind of knew you had to profile the guy in Atlanta going into a big match like that. How'd you get to the Shawn Michaels Ringer piece?
So it was there's always compromise and give and take, right? So probably like a month ago, this is a big thing for WWE moving to the CW. Very few times do they reach out with ideas or like push somebody they want you to talk to. This is one of those times. They were like, premiering on the CW on October 1st, and or I think, was it the first or the second? I think it was the second. No, it's Friday. It was
CW was October 1st.
It was the first. Okay, yeah. So they were like, hey, would you be interested in talking to Shawn Michaels? It's like, of course. I'm a San Antonio kid. I've been trying to tell Shawn Michaels about how he wronged me for 25 years. So yes, I would love to talk to Shawn Michaels.
What if you had just said like, no, I'm a Brett guy. I don't want to talk to this dude. What would have happened?
Could you imagine, right? It's funny. I am a Brett guy thoroughly, but I've never argued with anybody that Shawn Michaels is as good or better, or however they said it. Like, to me, it's Ryu and Ken. Ryu's the technique, Ken's the flair. But you can win with both of them, so no, it was great. And again, like, for me to get to tell my high school buddies that I told Shawn Michaels about the time he made us run for stealing our football, like, you can't recreate things like that. You only get so many opportunities to do that kind of stuff. But yeah, so it was they wanted to talk about premiering on the CW, but that's not really the Ringer's business. You know what I mean? Like, we did do a lot of stuff with A&E early on, but there was so much background on the individual that we weren't just talking about their episode coming up. You know what I mean? So the thing was, we got lucky and the premiere was the same week as Bad Blood, right? So it was very easy for me to talk to Cal about, hey, I would love to talk to Shawn about his Hell in a Cell matches, because that's current. That's what's going on now. And yeah, we had some really good conversations about him and Taker, him and Triple H, about how it changes people's perspectives on talents. Like the big one I think we talk about as peers and as an industry is what it did for the New Day. Really solidified them. And so we got to talk about that. Talked about Bailey and Sasha. But yeah, it was one of those things where it was great to be able to do things like on both ends, because I watch NXT religiously. Like, that's my show. So to, get to really talk about, what that means, and to get to also, do some nostalgia stuff was really, really fun. And, Shawn, he's so nice. He has me blocked on Twitter. Well, whatever, it's fine.
The rest of everyone,
yeah, it's fine. I don't take it personally, right?
Not
but
me.
It was very nice. Him saying like, thank you for all you do to support us, because everybody knows like I'm not a huge NXT fan. Like, my friends work at NXT. You know what I mean? Like, it was so nice to text Trick like, yo, congratulations, a bunch of cuss words that we use with each other, and go to sleep and to wake up to him saying something nice. So it was really cool to be able to, do my part in telling the story of what they got going on down there. So, yeah.
I found it funny that you got to, I don't think confront is the word, but talk to Shawn about his paying homage to himself.
Yeah. So like, I think the way that he explained it, and I'm going to put out the audio just so everybody can get kind of a full idea of how that went. But he's like, well, like, when I start to write stuff, and we talked about like Trick and Mello specifically, right? When I start to write stuff, it's not under the guise of it's something that I did, but once we kind of get through it, like, I do see the parallels. I do see that stuff. And he's like, and sometimes there is a wink and a nod to some of the things I've done. So yeah, it was nice. It was cool. Like, as we're going through it, like, my editor reminded me about Gigi Dolan and JC Jane, and how similar him kicking Marty through the window was to JC kicking Gigi through the door, which was so violent. Like, I still remember that. So yeah, it's we talked about the parking lot and how that's so much of what went on through the Attitude Era. And yeah, it's he takes it all with a smile, right? Like, but like you said, there is a wink and a nod to stuff. So yeah, and what he really said was, I don't think there's anything new that hasn't been done in the thing that we do, but it is about finding those little things that you can change, little things that you can accent. So yeah.
Do you have anything else to ask Jeremy about the stuff with Shawn?
No, go ahead.
I was gonna ask about the complex stuff. So you go on, you do the
Jeremy, clearly a Brett guy.
Clearly a Brett.
I actually grew up a much bigger fan of Shawn, much bigger fan, and like I think Shawn, when he comes out, and you mentioned this, but like, he's actually really good at media, and I don't know if that's like by accident or not, but like, when he does those like media calls before the NXT shows, I don't know if they haven't done one in a while, but like, he always comes across so well, and he answers the questions how you would like. It seems very truthful and very genuine, and sometimes it's like, look, I don't know, but he also like gives the insight that you would want him to give. Like, every time I listen to an interview with him, like, sometimes he doesn't give you a whole lot, but I never think of, no offense to Tony Khan, but like, when he does the interviews, like, what you're getting. You're getting promotion. You're getting a lot of promotion. With Shawn, you're getting some of that, but he throws enough in there to where you don't feel like, all right, this was a complete waste of time and I got absolutely nothing out of this.
You going into these things, you always get a feel for maybe not how it's going to go, but how they're going to respond to you. And what I mean is, like, they were like, okay, you have 30 minutes with Shawn Michaels. And it's like, oh, like as opposed to 15 minutes with this person, or, you know, we'll see how it goes. Like it was very much a, and they've granted, like both companies have been very nice to me, especially recently. In just that when, and I tend to cut this stuff off at the beginning of like the audios, but they're like, hey, especially with the Cody thing, Greg was like, hey, it's Cameron, the most famous person on wrestling Twitter. I'm like, why are you doing any of it? But no, they, I think with Shawn, it was very much, he didn't do a whole lot of media, but the, you know, 5 or 6 places he talked to, I think they really did dedicate like time. And it's also nice to have somebody stationary who's not traveling show to show and going home every week. Like I think that does help. You know, he was one time he was in like his office, and then when he was with the guys over at Mass Man, he was in like WWE office. So yeah, I do think that helps that they want to set the time aside at the beginning to do that. So yeah.
So speaking of the weird places that people sit when they're doing interviews, you do the Cody interview for Complex. You weren't the only person that sat down with Cody that day from the looks of it, because I've seen other interviews where he's the brick wall and it's well lit and it's
it's DDP Studio. It's
DDP.
always
Makes sense.
Yeah.
There's the purple.
Every interview with Cody, basically since returning to WWE, that's his background because it's at DDP Studio.
Good for him. Hey, listen, I appreciate the setup. I appreciate comfortable. So you sit down, you do Cody. How long do you get to sit down with Cody for?
Half hour.
You got a half hour with Cody. And was it weird again, because you've spoken to all of these different wrestlers in different settings where it's like earpods are in and they're sitting in, you know, a random studio. You got Cody mic'd up properly. It's a studio style interview. Did it feel different?
It was like, of course. You know what I mean? Like it was like, of course.
Yeah.
And I think that I noted that in what I wrote, just that he is like, he's meticulous. You know what I mean? Like this is like Cody's a ham, and I don't mean that with any disrespect at all. I think he takes this thing very seriously, wants to go overboard with it because, you know, he came from Dusty. He came from the Flares. Like there's an idea in his head how a champion should present. And like he talked about how much like John Cena rubbed off on him, and that's who he modeled after. You know, when John Cena isn't doing big t-shirt and jorts appearances, John Cena's in a nice suit. John Cena's in a nice car. His hair is done. So it was jarring because of, like you said, like I've had people like just at the crib waiting on their wife to make dinner. I've had people in the car, and granted, like none of that's bad. I understand there's the travel, there's finding time to cut these things out. Some of them probably don't want to do it, but are willing to. But yeah, it was like watching, you know, I grew up in San Antonio, man. Ingram Park Mall used to have the Image Shot Studio, and you would just see the girls going in with crazy backgrounds, and then everybody's handing you photos at school of them. Like it was very much that. It was like a fun throwback, but no, it was only off-putting when I forgot it was Cody. And then I was like, yeah, no, this makes perfect sense.
He definitely matched you in his nerdiness. Yeah. Talking about
Lord of the Rings. Oh my God. And what was funny, I couldn't figure out the way to put it into words, but like there's absolutely a parallel of Cody's whole finish the story mantra. And I remember the girl I was dating in high school, we went to go see that movie. It ended 14 times. I was like, oh, this is the end. Oh, this is the end. Oh, this is the end. It was so much epilogue in that damn movie. But it was a great reference. And I love, again, you'll hear it in the audio, but we basically wrote, or he basically said, I know this is nerdy, but now nerds run the world. So now it's okay. And so like, yeah, so he put that Lord of the Rings out there. And I thought that was just an amazing quote that like, for him, now that I've done something that my father hasn't done, I can go to him and know that the respect is there. Like it was heavy, man. It was heavy. You know, he says, I mean, I've been chasing a ghost, and I don't think that's a bad thing. And I'm still chasing a ghost. And knowing that you're always going to want to live up to those expectations, but also acknowledging the fact that you have something that they didn't. I think is really good self-awareness. And so you always worry about people being happy pursuing what their fathers did and what their mothers did, and will they ever really find that joy? And he seems to have it. So yeah,
I do find it interesting how he goes into overextending himself when he was with AEW. Performer, management, everything was too much for him, and now he's to a certain extent. I still think he overextends himself, but now he does it in a way that it's just Cody.
Yeah, overextends himself like as champion. And again, like you said, like it was John Cena. And, John Cena has been on the record and off the record as being very critical of who's supposed to be where. And if you want my spot, these are the things that you need to be doing. I think it's fascinating that he basically created that lane himself. And not that the guys ahead of him, like the Austins and the Rocks and the Triple H's, weren't like about that, but he literally decided, no, I'm going to do everything in my power to keep this thing afloat. It's about more than just me, even if I'm the focal point. And like Cody, he talked about, I didn't go to sleep. I got on the bus. I didn't shower. And I'm on the bus drinking with Michael Cole, and I'm talking to Pat McAfee, and we just kept going. And he wants to go. And I don't think that I've never been a champion has to show up at every event. I always found like a mystique and a charm in Roman Reigns not always being around, but I will never knock the desire to want to. People talk about like, I want a fighting champion and blah, 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 blah. I like to see it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have a dog in the fight, but anything that you work hard for, anything that you're that dedicated to, like, I'm with you. And so, yeah, man, he loves the grind. And like you said, he needed to focus in on just him and what he's doing and what's going on immediately around him. And I think, a lot of people find out that way. I would never want to be management in any job I ever have ever. It was cool like that one summer in SeaWorld, but I do not want to be I want to lead people, but by example, not by designation. I have no desire to do that. So I absolutely understand doing your best work and hoping that people follow suit.
I think the John Cena way, and Cody says in your piece, like he's modeled his kind of avenue through or from John Cena. I think that way is fascinating because when you talk about biggest stars in wrestling, it's not that Cena's off the list, but people are like Hogan, Rock, Austin are kind of the top three of the go-to. And then you kind of mentioned John Cena, and maybe it's chronological type of thing. Mm-hmm. But the Cena way to me is fascinating because, okay, Hogan had his run, but it was, if you really think about it, like the Hulkamania era was like 84 to 92-ish, like maybe when he dropped the title to Warrior, and then he had Hollywood Hogan stuff. Rock was a few years. Austin was a few years. Cena was like 2 decades as basically one character too, like just a babyface character. So to model your way after that instead of like, oh yeah, I want to be this top guy is always just fascinating to me. And Cena and Cody has definitely like done it, but I think there's the longevity. I think he recognizes the longevity of like, all right, yeah, Austin and Rock, maybe they're thought to be bigger box office than John Cena, but John Cena did this for 20 years at this high level, and now he's doing this at this high level. Like, there's just more longevity into the way Cena did things compared to these guys. I don't know if you picked up on that talking to Cody, or you pick up on that in general.
So when I was writing, I referenced a house show that I went to, where it was after he fought Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania, and then he was talking about becoming world heavyweight champion. And like I did the math, I gave him the wrong year when we talked, but I did the math. That was like WrestleMania 22, I want to say. I look up and I was like, oh, Cody was there until WrestleMania 30. Like he was there a long time. And I think that's what I forgot. So his whole run, he watched John Cena be that guy. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm with you, but I mean, you only know what you know in real time, right? And so to him, that was the right way to do it because, outside of Cena, everybody else, like the Christians and the the Booker T's, and to a lesser extent Orton, because Orton was kind of there already, but those are kind of the guys he's fighting to be in that spot with. And so you kind of got to do what Cena's doing if you want that, I guess.
I know you want to talk about football, don't you?
About football?
Well, I don't know. Jeremy usually says, let's talk about football.
What's going on in football, guys?
I mean, we can't have Cam on and not talk a little bit about football.
We
got 2 minutes until our next guy comes. So y'all got to get it in quick.
So quickly, I was joking about, like when Washington was 1-1 and they were in first place. Like I was joking, and now like they're 3-1 and in first place. And listen, like I said, I have interest, no expectations. They look good. Seem to have a quarterback who knows where to put the ball. Guys who want to, and Terry McLaurin looks so happy. He's like, I got a guy who can get me the ball. Like it's everything. So that's fun. And then
Sam Howell disrespect over here.
Bless Sam Howell's heart. He didn't get a Raw deal. Hey man, they let you audition. You know what I mean? Like it gave you a year, buddy. And then of course the Texas football Longhorns. My goodness. You watch that great game between Alabama and Georgia, and I'm not concerned with going undefeated because now I play in a Teflon conference to where even if you're okay, they'll put you in the stupid 12-team playoff. But it is fun to be a fan of a very good program again. The city is enjoying it. The fans are enjoying it. Arch Manning might be the guy. Oh my goodness. But yeah, football is okay to me. Listen, but now it's October. Next weekend is Oklahoma. Now is when it gets real. But yeah, guys, thank you for your time. If you get a chance, pick up your Wrestling Club dunks.
Let's go.
Plug for those guys. Love them to death.
Show them around. Show them the back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
the future of wrestling.
That's good stuff.
TWC logo, they're beautiful. They will make their debut this Saturday in Austin, Texas. Manchaca Sports Bar. If you're in South Austin, come by, have a drink with us, watch some Bad Blood. Thanks,
and while you're at it, go to Complex, go check out the Cody Rhodes feature, go over to the Ringer, check out the Shawn Michaels feature, Cam Hawkins. Thank you as always. You're the best.
Thank you, Cam.
Who cares about the Dallas Cowboys? Bye, guys.
Always hits his mark, does Cam. We appreciate him very much. Whenever, listen, the standing agreement is he drops a feature, he comes and talks about it on the show. I always appreciate that about him.
I always appreciate Cam.
Of course. Who else do you appreciate? Do you appreciate me?
Nah.
Come on, it's Friday. Let's be all nice. Our next guest is gonna be here shortly. We gotta put on the front, right? We gotta pretend. Do we pretend? Are we real? No. Come on. What are we gonna do? Huh? Could you imagine having a guest show up and we're just in the middle of a silent war? I don't say something.
I'm winning that though. Like this is the thing. I proved this way earlier when I stood silent for minutes as you kept rattling off people who it could be, and I just gave you nothing, and you just kept going because you could not stand the silence. I was just silent to see of like how much longer you could keep going, how many names you could come up with until you were finally like, all right, can you speak? Speak, bitch.
Yeah. That was the other one, but they weren't together, so I couldn't get to it fast enough.
You can't win a silent war. You care too much about the audio listeners. I don't care about you audio listeners. I'm really close to the mic now to fuck up your hearing.
I'm not going to even put a thing there. I just can't believe you did that. Oh, this is how you treat the viewers and listeners of the show, is it? Tell you what, our interview's here. He's getting ready. He's almost there. When he's ready, he's going to give me a thumbs up.
This is a big old setup here. People can't see this, but I'm very impressed by.
Yeah, I'm watching this come together.
Yeah, he's doing set design before he comes on the air here.
He's got a 360 camera. He's going to go around and around. Okay, now you know what? If you ever watch the show and you interview on this show, I want someone to do the interview from a merry-go-round, okay? And I just put on your headphones and I just want to hear the merry-go-round, okay? Is he ready for us? You can give us a thumbs up. He was supposed to join us on Wednesday, but as we said, he was unavailable. The only cell tower in his area went down, as one does. We're excited to welcome now from Second Wrestling. He's the Maxwell Street Heritage Champion. Now, here's the best part. We're going to take a wild stab in the dark. Is he Sean Logan or is he Sean Logan? Because he is an influencer. Good morning to you.
Hello, gentlemen. How are we doing?
Doing great.
How are you?
I'm good. And it is the influencer Sean Logan, because I'm logging in the social media day in and day out.
See, he made the joke, so you can't get mad at me for making any of this jokes, Joel.
The problem is, I don't know if he made the joke because you made the joke or because this was always part of who he was.
Here's the deal. I've been in a battle with the Apple store lately, and being the influencer, they need to get on the same page as me. But apparently, the one, I don't know if it's Apple, I don't know if it was Verizon, but the one tower apparently went down, and I kind of freaked out because, like, being an influencer now, I didn't know how to live my life, without technology. So that was kind of scary. So now that we're back in the clear, it's good that we got our phone back up and running, because I don't know how to live life without the phone.
Well, first of all, I'm glad that you're okay. I'm glad that your phone works. And now I'm glad that I understand that you wear your sunglasses all the time, because this past Monday, some people may have seen you on Monday Night Raw and you weren't wearing those sunglasses. In fact, maybe was it too bright?
Oh, right. I mean, well, here's the deal. I'm a trendsetter, right? And I'm a risk taker of that. Everyone wants to copy other styles, and I try a new style, and if it sticks, trust me, they're not all gonna stick. But I'm a risk taker in that field, and well, I did try to wear my sunglasses, but my boy Gabe hit me up with an email, and I kind of gotta follow the rules when you're at the big leagues. So I could not wear my sunglasses there.
What was going through your mind during this segment? You're in the ring with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, and what's going through your mind during this?
I think the crazy thing was, I think so. I did extra work one time before, and there wasn't really much camera time opportunities. I was at Allstate, but this one, they were just like, okay, you got to do, you got to separate Drew and Punk, when you're in the cell. And I was like, okay, wait, in the cell? I was like, how many, like, someone did hit me up after, and they're like, a lot of people do extra work, like, in your field, but how many people actually said they could be in the cell live on a Monday Night Raw? And I was like, wow, that is cool. But I guess to answer your question, being in the middle of the ring and just looking to your right and CM Punk is having his entrance like that, and like the camera's not on me, right? So like you could really just like soak that in. And I remember just sitting there, and that's the thing, we work so hard to like get people to start chanting our names, or just get ourselves over, And these guys obviously they worked really hard to get themselves over, but now they're at this top level that in 1 second the whole crowd's chanting CM Punk, and that's when I was just like, holy cow, like
CM Punk is got him. Maybe because he was saying nice things about Punk, Seth Rollins cut him off. He's like, why is one of my students saying nice things about CM Punk?
I'm gonna chalk this up to
there we here.
Phone call.
Yep.
What is wrong with me?
Did you get a phone call? Have we got you back?
No.
Oh, it's whenever you go away from the screen.
It's just gone.
I hope his phone didn't overheat. That's what I was afraid of.
Oh, that wouldn't be good.
That would suck. Well, if he's got to come back and join us audio only, we'll still do it. Oh, I see him now. All right, let's try this. Take 2.
Gentlemen, I apologize.
It's all good.
Called me during the interview, and apparently
that's what we thought. That's what we thought. We thought maybe it was Seth. If Seth was like, why are you saying nice things about CM Punk? What are we doing here?
Well, I can't say that.
We're gonna get to that. Hold on, we'll get there. Let's go. We're in the cell.
Yeah, I was in that cell, and just hearing everyone in the crowd in unison like chanting CM Punk, I was just like, this is surreal. Like that's what being over feels like. And it was really cool. I think the other thing I was like trying to put myself in was, like, and my strong suit's definitely not cutting a promo, but we're always working at our weaknesses. But with that being said, like them just like cutting a promo, I try to like visualize myself, like if I could talk in front of this entire crowd, and I was like, like maybe it is possible, like obviously I can't just be like, here, give me the mic, let me cut something, but it was just like, okay, what is it like to cut a promo in front of everyone? Like, let's see, like, and just try to be in that moment. But it was, I mean, it was fantastic just to be there for 10 minutes in a cell on a Monday Night Raw because it was like 3 months ago, and I get I didn't wrestle on it, but like I'm in my little gym I made, and I wrote on the wall, I said like, how many more Mondays are gonna go by where you're not on Raw, and like then I was just cool to get the opportunity to do something. So yeah, it's a good 2024 so far, and a lot of things are starting to happen for us. But yeah, it was a moment that I certainly won't ever forget. And now that they're in St. Louis this week, I have a show for World League Wrestling, and Gabe's doing a seminar there Sunday. I'm like, dude, maybe just let's do it. I already did the seminar, a month ago. But I'm like, maybe just do another one. Maybe try to get on Raw again for Monday. So we'll see. We gotta always just keep grinding at it.
So the cell wasn't your only appearance on Monday either, because you were out there, if I'm not mistaken, for when Braun Strowman decided to splash his opponent, Bronson Reed, to the outside. And you were there. And I saw that hair.
Yeah, he's on the bun. There we go.
What was that? What was that like? What was going on in your head?
Well, so I had a buddy that there was a couple of guys I knew, not too many, and he was just like, dude, this is my moment. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he goes, I just want to be in contact with Braun Strowman one point in my life. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, dude, I want to be the middle guy. And I was like, okay, like that's fine, but like I saw a tweet that said, like, imagine being one of the security guards and you come in to do extra work and they're like, yeah, you gotta catch Braun Strowman off the top rope today. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of what went through my mind because like it's one bump, but man, like you could get hurt on that real simple. And it's Braun Strowman jumping on the top rope. So luckily I was kind of the caboose. I was in the back, and we just had to kind of just be there, a little extra support. So I did not get touched, so that was good. But definitely, you don't know, you never know when someone's on the top rope. You never know if they're gonna overshoot it or under, or if they're gonna be, if they're gonna do a flip, and like feet are gonna come hit your head. Because I always think about, I think it was Edge. He had that first match in WWE where like he did the tope and he like kicked the guy in the head, and I think he ended his career or something. But so I always just think about that. I'm like, God, like and Braun. I mean, Edge wasn't, Edge is big, but Edge is not Braun Strowman's size, so you never know. So
I don't think you got to worry about. I don't think you got to worry about Braun doing a flip off of.
No, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah. Well, I don't. You have like a little somersault, in that big pile. You never know.
Yeah,
but,
I think
20. No, Braun just got up there and he's like, "All right, there's 20 dudes down there. I hope we're good. Let me just fall and basically just catch me. Domino effect." Here.
For real, yeah. You're right. Yeah, I guess I'm there all day just thinking about the one spot, and I'm like, dude, I'm overthinking this. So that's probably what happened.
Imagine Braun Strowman just coming off with a 450 or something off the top. Like that would have been the most surprising thing.
That would freak. I mean, maybe he pulls it out. It's the main event. I don't know the last time he main evented Raw. So
that's true.
You never know.
I know
but then the ring collapsing, that was crazy too.
I'd love to see him be like, I know we're gonna break the ring later, but I really want to do a 450 beforehand.
They chase it. I don't know if the ring. I don't know if he does a 450 if the ring exploding tops it. But.
Did you get any feedback from anybody while you were there? Talk to anybody?
A cool one was Regal. He pulled us aside and he's like, guys, I don't normally have time for this anymore, but I got like 15 minutes, so like ask away questions. And honestly, like we had one question asked and he kind of like elaborated on it so the whole 15 minutes, but still it was great hearing from him, like good lot. He'll like take an answer and then very like pick it apart, and then he could just go on a bunch of different wavelengths of it. So, but it was really cool. It was really cool to hear his feedback. So, or just advice for us, because we're all there trying to, we're all trying to make it. I would imagine everyone that's doing extra work is a wrestler trying to make it. There was a referee there, I know. And I know there was like an NFL lineman there. I don't know his name, but I don't know if he ever wrestled either. So it was cool. But mostly everyone, is a wrestler trying to make it. So Regal was cool. I guess Jamie Noble, he was the one that was kind of really trying to choreograph and tell us what to do. I think is it Davari? I think he's the other extra, or he's behind the scenes guy. Yes. Yeah. So he was there helping us. So it was cool to hear from those guys because you don't really see them on TV anymore, but they're just key behind the scenes guys. So that was cool. Obviously that was like don't talk to Triple H, like that's like on the pamphlet, like don't talk to him. But like being in Gorilla, that was cool though. That was because you see Pritchard and Triple H all working at it. So like it was kind of cool to be actually in that Gorilla position.
And then you're a Black and Brave train, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
So Seth Rollins made his return during this match, and you're out there. And earlier in the day, did you have any inkling or inclination that one of the guys who trained you was going to be back in the fold, or was it just as a surprise? What was kind of your reaction there?
So you want the real exact thing? Because I was like, oh, Seth's gotta be here, right? And then like another Black and Brave buddy of mine, he was there doing extra work, and he's like, yeah, I would imagine. And then we're talking about, he's like, no, he's injured. And I was like, crap, like maybe he's not gonna be here. So as real as that surprise was, we're in Gorilla about ready to come out for that, the spot, and Seth comes right there. Like I'm like, what the heck? Like he just sneaks in, just like he legit, like when we're running out, he sneaks in, and I'm like, what the heck is he doing? Like I didn't think Coach was gonna be here. So that was and then sure enough, we're out there, we catch Braun, and then he comes out. I'm like, oh my god, like because he was in Baltimore for the Ravens game the night before, so I was like, obviously, I should know that the dude flies every day because he made it to all of our training sessions like every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and he'd be on Raw, Monday. So I should have just assumed that he could fly and be anywhere at any point. But for some reason, I was like, oh no, he was in Baltimore. He can't be here. Like, and then he's injured, so he's not gonna be here. And then sure enough, he pops out right when I'm running out to the ring. I'm like, what the heck? So I did stay. I was like, because I was, he's got so many students now, but I was like, man, like I gotta stay and say hi. So me and the other student, we stayed, and he was like, "What's up, boys? What are you doing here?" And then we're like, "Oh, we're just doing the deal." And then he shook our hands, and that was it, though. But obviously, he's got to talk to all the higher ups. So, but yeah, that was a surprise. I thought about messaging him if he'd be there, but it was a surprise to me, just like everyone else, to be honest.
I want to switch to not the WWE extra work stuff going on in your career. One thing's you recently teamed with Shazza McKenzie, and the biggest question I have to ask is, did she share any of her Nerds gummy cluster candy with you?
You know what? She did not. I'm a big fan of those Nerds gummy clusters, though.
As everyone should be.
Yes, they have like the best bite of any candy ever. But yeah, they're fantastic. She did not though. She was at a show with me, I want to say last week, and some fan actually gifted her the Oreo, what is it, Oreo Coca-Cola or whatever that.
Yeah, Coke Zero. Yes.
Yeah, that's what. So yeah, she got those, and then those fans, I'm pretty sure she could just be like, hey, I want to try this. And then some fan will bring it there to a show, It's crazy the pull she's got. But yeah, I tagged her at AAW. I believe we had a 3-on-3 tag.
Yeah.
And well, our tag partner actually tore his bicep in that match. But his name's Mike Hartenbauer, and he's going to be out for about 6 months. But yeah, we tagged in that match. And I cost us the match. So, but That was not my fault. I blame it on Shaza. I blame it on Hartenbauer with his torn bicep. You can't blame it on me. It was 2-on-1. Joey Avalon and Maggie Lee, they got the best of me there. So, but yeah, and then we kicked Hartenbauer out of the group. I don't know if you saw that, but yeah, Mike Hartenbauer. He not only did he tore his bicep, I turned on him and I hit him with a steel chair. But yes, so me and Shaza, we got to be tight. Hopefully she shares some gummy clusters with me soon. But I'm kind of the low man on the totem pole in that group, so hopefully we rise up now that Hartenbauer's out.
Well,
He
yeah, you
tears-
keep
I was gonna say,
kicking people out, then
Yeah.
the only way to
Yeah.
go is up.
Eventually someone's got to take that spot, right?
yeah, he tears his bicep and you tear his heart out.
Yes, yeah. I kind of felt bad, insult to injury right there. But if Davey Vegas and Johnny Bravo tells me to do something, I gotta do it, So
That is fair. Listen, here's a more important question, because you are the second wrestling Maxwell Street Heritage Champion. You've got the title belt right there.
yeah.
The man you beat is someone very near and dear to us, in that we can't stand him and he ducks us. That's AJ Francis.
AJ Francis been ducking you?
He's been ducking us. We've been trying to do some bars. Well, at least Jeremy wants to.
I'm trying to battle rap AJ Francis, and he's not
That's
showing up yet.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Well,
he's not showing up.
what? I don't, he's probably not going to talk to me after my victory against him. And, a lot of people have been saying, Logan, you didn't really win that match. There was this group, this faction called Phobia that came out and kind of interrupted the whole match. And then I just kind of took advantage. But, you got to take, what am I going to do? Sit there and not take the pin? Come on. So, a lot of people saying I didn't win this fair and square, but I have this belt on paper. I beat AJ Francis, period. That's all the people are going to see on social media. So we'll leave it at that, right? That no one needs to know the details.
Check the record books. It doesn't say how it got it done. It just says it got done.
You better believe it. Yeah. And now that is something. I've never been a singles champion. So now having to defend a title, that is kind of crazy, because there's a target on your back now, and that's it's I truly hope to enjoy this as much and as long as possible. But when you have a show every 30 days and you gotta defend this every 30 days, there's a chance this could be the last 30 days. I mean, I'm pretty confident in my abilities, but you never know. And this next show coming up, October 20th, it's Jethro's Toll. It sounds like it's a roulette show with a mystery. We don't know who our opponents are. It's gonna be a roulette spin, or I don't know. I don't know the exact details on it, but it sounds like it's kind of like a raw roulette, And so I don't know who I'm facing yet, but hopefully it's no one that's gonna, it doesn't even matter, because AJ Francis was a big guy, big threat, and I beat him, so we'll be okay.
So before I ask my last question, can you explain to our audience, who are from all over the place, what the Maxwell Street Heritage Championship is? What is the importance of Maxwell Street to Second Wrestling and to Chicago?
You know what? Well, my promoter's a rabbi, and I think he's, from, well, I want to say he's from Minnesota originally, right? But we got the Chicago skyline right there. And I think now, in my interpretation, I believe it just represents, the best professional wrestler of not just Maxwell Street, but of Chicago. That's what I like to stand for. And sure, we got the second wrestling main title, and that's the best of that company. But I think I represent, Maxwell Street. But I like to see the skyline. I like to think of it as I represent Chicago, because I think Chicago's a top tier wrestling database and environment for a lot of people to come see professional wrestling. And I hope that I could represent Maxwell Street and Chicago on top of that. But I honestly, truly, I don't know how long does Maxwell Street run through Chicago? I couldn't tell you, but I will say this: I would imagine with the whole city on it, I represent the city of Chicago, and hopefully we could try to make it mean something more than any other wrestling promotion in Chicago. Hopefully we make this title mean more and people want to come to Chicago face me to represent Second Wrestling. Because I don't, there's Iowa State belt. I don't think I've ever seen a Illinois State belt defended, but I mean, I don't think there's a Chicago State or Chicago City belt. So I think this is the closest thing we have to it. So hopefully that makes like I said, there's a target on my back. But hopefully that makes people want to come and try to achieve this belt that I hold here today.
Well, before that target gets acquired and moved upon, we have a little game that we play on the channel before we let you go. It's called Partner, Promo, or Punch in the Face. You ready for this? I'm going to give you 3 names, people that you know well. You're going to pick which one you want to promo with in the ring, have a promo off on the microphone, which one you want to punch in the face in a singles match, and which one you would partner with in a tag match. Are you ready?
Okay.
We've got AJ Francis, of course, Heather Reckless, and Shazza McKenzie. Partner, promo, punch in the face.
Well, I think I want my partner to be Heather Reckless, because we used to train together at Black and Brave, and we kind of were pretty. Out of the 3 of them, I'm probably the closest of her. I would say promo battle AJ Francis, because I already punched him in the face, and he chokeslammed me back, so we kind of got the dueling there. But promo battle would be great, because I know he's good on the mic, and it'd be great to have that challenge. Plus, I mean, like you said, you got to rap battle him. I mean, I'm not the great off the cup rap battler, but the opportunity to do that would be that. So I would promo AJ Francis, tag partner would be Heather Reckless, and I'd punch. Even though she's my partner now, I punched Shazza McKenzie in the face because she didn't give me any of those nerd clusters.
That's right. That's right.
There we go. There we go.
Shawn, we want to thank you for joining us this morning. This is a lot of fun. Go ahead, plug your stuff, what you got going on, and we'll send you on your way afterwards.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, well, we'll be at World League Wrestling in Troy, Missouri this Saturday night. We'll be at Dreamwave Wrestling October the 11th, next Saturday. And October 20th, Jethro's Toll. That'll be Second Wrestling show where I do my first ever title defense. And all my socials are Sabotage Shawn, because there may be an alter ego of Shawn Logan out there. So that was the original gimmick. So, but yes, that's all I gotta say. And I appreciate you guys having me and letting me represent. And I apologize for the inconvenience on Wednesday, but I appreciate you guys.
No worries at all. We appreciate you joining us here today. Have a good weekend.
Awesome. Thank you, gentlemen. Hope to keep in touch.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
The influencer, Shawn Logan. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
You got it, baby.
Take it here. Now, who's gonna go? He's gonna bring himself off, or am I gonna do it? Yeah, he did it. I didn't have to do it this time. Oh, big thanks. Not only to as he referenced the owner of Second Wrestling, it's Rabbi Fine, but also to Shawn himself, Shawn Logan, for joining us this morning. It's been a busy morning. We still got a couple things to talk about, don't we? There's a pay-per-view this weekend.
Allegedly.
Yeah. They're going to be in Atlanta. They're going to be doing the Bad Blood. Will The Rock show up at Bad Blood? That's what people are running with right now.
Sorry. I got a message.
Is it a good message?
Nothing's wrong or anything. I'll tell you, everything's fine. I just need to send other messages.
That's always the best when you're in the middle of something that is like, so this thing.
Yeah, apologies, everybody. I was caught off guard because I got a message that I was not expecting. Is something that I thought was taken care of. It's not taken care of, and now I gotta send messages and be like, did this happen? Are we good? So yeah,
We're just taking care of everything. Do you want to take care of it now, or do you want to take care of it afterwards?
No, it's fine. There's nothing to take care of. Like, I can't do anything. It doesn't concern me.
Oh, then we're fine.
Yeah, but I'm just making sure I can say it. So I was supposed to travel this weekend, and I'm not traveling this weekend. And I got a message of like, "Hey, your flight has been delayed." And I'm like, wasn't my flight canceled? Didn't I cancel this a couple of weeks ago when I could not make it? And so I just had to send a message and be like, did you cancel my flight, or are you still going to get charged for this, even though I said I wasn't going to be able to travel this weekend? So that's all it is. Again, no big deal or anything. I'm just double checking to make sure the person who booked my flight is not going to get charged for this flight that should have been canceled weeks ago.
So did you ask The Rock if he's canceled your flight?
Yeah, I messaged Dwayne and I said, Dwayne, did you not cancel this? You know, I told you I couldn't make it. If you're still going, like, okay, you can still go, but I told you I can't make it, Dwayne. So yeah, it's very possible that Dwayne forgot to cancel my flight and now he's going to get charged for this. The flight's been delayed now, though, I have learned. So
I hope The Rock I hope Dwayne still makes it, because that's going to be tough. I mean, they're in Nashville tonight.
Let's not say it's Dwayne The Rock. There's a lot of people named Dwayne. You know, he's the executive producer of this show. Dwayne ?
That is true. Well, that's why these flights are very important.
Yeah.
Gentle.
Sorry, what were we talking? Oh, Bad Blood.
Bad Blood is this Saturday, 6 p.m. start, baby.
Yeah, I'm like for that. That's fine by me.
Yeah,
so
the talk seems to be that Roman. This is funny because you and I, by the way, just to set this up, you and I talked about this a while ago. What's going to main event? What should be the main event? And there were some people who were very much on the Hell in a Cell should main event because reasons. And we kind of, you and I mean, I was always on the firm like it's got to be the tag match, because it's Cody at home and it's Roman and it's a big time story, blah, blah, blah. And of course, people have been kind of trying to figure out ways to, in their headcanon, make that match meaningful as the main event. And now it's the main event, at least according to Fightful Select, it is. We'll see what happens at bell time. And now the talk is, maybe that's the main event because someone else is going to come back and make it important. It's already important. Sorry, go ahead, continue.
No, it is, but I do think people are going to talk themselves into that. And of course, McAfee does heard the big guy is coming back. I don't know if McAfee knows anything. McAfee knows stuff, obviously, but does he know the Rock schedule? I don't know. The Rock showed up to SmackDown in Denver that one week thanks to McAfee. So it's possible that McAfee is clued in on this kind of stuff. But I didn't take it as that. It feels like it's the main event because it's Cody and Roman and it's Atlanta. It's like, all right, this feels like it's a big time match. I would have gone with the Cell match, but I understand why they're going with Rock or not Rock. I understand why they're going with Cody and Roman. I still think the best outcome is Bloodline winning. I still think that's the best story outcome is Bloodline winning.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. And I know that when we initially started the conversation, we went from like, it's going to be, Cody and Roman win. It's Roman's first. And then we very quickly just said, no, why would we do that? Let's do it the other side. And it makes more sense. I don't think the question is who eats the pin. And I think I'm closer to both of them. They're going to stack Roman and
Fatu just stacks them.
So I think it's Fatu who's going to pin Cody here. Because we did Uso pinning Cody at Money in the Bank. Like we did that in the 6-man tag. And that's what got to the SummerSlam main event. Well, was it the main event? Yeah, it was, because that's when Roman came back. That's what got us to that match. So I don't think that doing another solo pins Cody is going to work. You could do solo pinning Roman. Again, Roman's been pinned in tag team matches when he was on top. That was a thing with the Uso match. So it could work that way. And then you've got a story because Solo and Roman tagged together in that tag team match, blah, blah, blah. And of course, the You'll Follow stuff, blah, blah, blah. But I think that Fatu pinning Cody also gets us maybe to Fatu and Cody in Saudi. And then you do Roman and Solo in Saudi as well.
I was on board yesterday with Cody taking the loss because of miscommunication with like Roman and Cody. I think you can explain that well enough.
Yeah.
I'm against it now. I'm against Cody taking the pin. I think it should be Roman. And I still think it should be miscommunication type thing. Cody screws up. He's an idiot. And, whatever he hits Roman with accidentally. And maybe Roman hits Cody with the spear, but then Roman gets hit with the super kick, splash, whatever, however you pin Roman. But I think Roman should get pinned because I don't want Cody in this bloodline story anymore. I don't think he has a place in this story anymore. He clearly has the stuff going on with Kevin and Randy, right? So I think it's easier to separate Cody and Roman if Roman gets pinned here. Because if Cody gets pinned, then you continue the bloodline stuff of, oh, okay, well, now one of them needs the title shot. You basically got to capitalize on that. And I think WWE is smart enough. They did it when Solo pinned Cody and the 6-man tag got the title shot at SummerSlam. You got to capitalize if Cody gets pinned. But if Roman gets pinned, you just continue the bloodline story. Kevin and Randy go to Cody and are like, see, why'd you get yourself involved and all of that stuff? This was between them. You got involved. Now you technically lost this match. You got speared by Roman. Maybe The Rock does come back at the end. Now The Rock's back. Don't concern yourself with any of this. And then you do stuff with Cody, Kevin, and Randy while Roman continues to do bloodline stuff. And then you bring in Jay, Jimmy, Sammy. I know people, you've been one of these people, Joel, and I don't know if you're serious or trolling when you've done this stuff, but let's do Cody and Randy and Kevin in the War Games, and I don't want any of that shit. So I want Cody separate out of this, and Roman taking the pin is the easiest way to get him out.
I've been less trolling about it, but I think the story is still Solo's team wins, and it does move us closer to War Games where Solo says, you ain't got no friends, Roman. You have no friends. And then Roman has to go and make amends with people. Another big question that's kind of come up is Jimmy Uso ready? Nobody seems to have an update on his status and if he's coming back anytime soon or if he'll be around by the end of November to be a part of a Survivor Series War Games match. Jey Uso can easily be a part of it. He's got the Intercontinental Championship. You can tell the story with Roman and Jay having their little standoff and then eventually some sort of makeup because your main event, Jey Uso, you did it. I made you this, but you did it. Whatever. However you do it, whatever. I don't care I do care, but as of this second, I don't care how you get there, but you will get there. Then again, the only reason why I've been including those names that you're not a big fan of, and I understand why you wouldn't want KO and Randy and Cody, is because, again, if you don't have Jimmy, what is this? Jimmy really is a big part of the story.
Yeah.
And if you don't have him, then it's going to be harder to scrap War Games because of that. Or really, it's not going to be harder to scrap it. It's going to be harder to do War Games if you don't have at least both Usos involved in the match in some sort of storyline reconciliation with Roman. And at that point, I'm more open to the Sammy story coming into play, where Sammy is the one that maybe joins with Roman and all them after a big reconciliation. But you got to get there first.
Well, I think Sammy's there anyway because you need 4 aside, at least as it currently stands. You need 4 aside.
Did they do 5 last year, though? They did 5-on-5 last year.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you can't do 4-on-4 this year. I think they've done 5 the past couple of years. Yeah, they've done. Well, they did 4. Didn't they do 4 the first year?
I feel like NXT would do 4, but then WWE would do the 5.
Was it 2022 Survivor Series 4 side?
I'm checking. La la la. 2022 was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that was
okay. I forgot that Solo was in that match. Yeah. They usually do 5 aside.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, even the NXT War Games, the last one was 5.
It doesn't mean you can't do 4 though. Just because they've done 5, okay, they've done 5, but that doesn't mean you can't switch it up and do 4 for something like this. Because if you don't have a 5th, you don't have a 5th. And I don't know who the 5th is on the Bloodline side. If you have Roman, Jimmy, Jay, Sammy, I don't know who makes sense as that 5th for them. And then you already have your 4 on the Bloodline side with Jacob, Tama, Tonga, and Solo with that. And I don't know who their 5th is either. I don't know if The Rock's doing.
I don't think he's doing this. Sorry, just to go back. So yeah, I was right. So NXT War Games 18, 19, 20, those were all 4-on-4.
Okay.
So you can easily go back to those. But my point around that was really that WWE, when they've done War Games at Survivor Series, has always been a 5-on-5. You can easily pull that back. That's just going to be up to whoever's putting together the story.
Yeah, whatever makes the most sense for the story. If you can get there with 5 and it makes sense, then okay, fine, do 5. If you can't and 4 makes the most sense, do 4. They've shown to be flexible with how they're putting things together lately. I mean, Hell in a Cell is a great example where they decided, yeah, this is not an annual thing anymore. We're going to do it for a match that makes sense, and we'll give you Hell in a Cell instead of, hey, it's Hell in a Cell week here on WWE.
Well, it's still annual. It's still within a calendar year. You're still going to get one. We're just not going to make a pay-per-view out of it.
Was there a Hell in a Cell last year?
39. Finn Balor. And Edge.
Yeah.
But my point is that it's still within a calendar year. They'll do it. Yeah, that's, you're right. That was one of Paul Levesque's big things. It's like, I'm not going to do a Hell in a Cell I'm not going to do a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view just to do Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. And he pulled back as a result, which is great. Glad they did that. But I'm curious as to whether or not, again, if Jimmy Uso is ready to go and how that would play into everything.
So I'm working under the assumption that Jimmy is going to be okay. I don't know this for sure. As you've mentioned, there hasn't been a whole lot of information with him. Rikishi's sending out vague tweets about we need prayers and everything. So like, we don't know. I'm working under the assumption though, that he is going to be fine for this. Now, if he's not fine, then that throws a wrench into a lot of things because I don't think you're going to do a 3-on-3 War Games. I just don't think that's going to happen, but maybe. It seems weird. Feels like you got to do at least 4. Yeah.
You got to do 4.
It feels like you got to do at least 4.
Especially with the build up to get to the 4-on-4 and 3-on-3 feels weird. Unless you're doing it on TV, then you can maybe get away with it, but yeah.
So in that case, if you don't have Jimmy and you still want to do 4 or 5, then it does make a little bit more sense to, okay, how can we get Cody involved? How can we get Kevin involved? How can we get Randy involved? It makes sense then to try to get them involved into this because even though they're not bloodline and they're not part of the family, certainly Kevin has had long history feuding against them. Same thing with Cody and even to an extent Randy. So it would make sense for them to be involved in this. But I'm working, again, under the assumption Jimmy's going to be okay. He's going to be a part of this. And if you have Jimmy, you do not need Randy, Kevin, and Cody for any of this. They can do their own thing.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And I just go back to like, is Jimmy okay?
I also think the big guy that Pat McAfee
Ryback
is referencing. People are talking Rock. What if it's Heyman?
That's a really good thing. Yeah, I was thinking about that too. Heyman, of course, his return will be a big morale boost for the Roman Reigns character. And that would be a moment where, again, the only thing that I hate about it is, does he come out after the match? Does he come out with Roman? I hope there's no swerve, even though I've talked about the idea of it before, but I don't love the idea. And I know you don't either, but like, it hasn't really been, again, I'm interested on SmackDown tonight to see if they make reference to the Pat McAfee comment and how that kind of gets presented, because something that we didn't talk about from Dynamite was with the Taz injury and having him taken out, they do the Hook promo, and then immediately they go to Christian Cage where he mentions Hook, Line, and Sinker. And it's like stuff like that really carries through a story. On Raw last week, Jey Uso won the Intercontinental Championship. This was 2 weeks ago, I guess now, 2 episodes ago. And before that, you had Xavier Woods talking about going after gold, getting singles wins. So, and now you're seeing that story is also playing in together. So that is part of my thinking, is how does it play out on Friday? Do they do it at all? Or, what does it look like? Or is it just a moment that they want you to talk about?
I do think you make a good point of, do they even reference this on television? Because to me, it just felt like it wasn't part of the interview that they did. It was a behind the scenes thing that McAfee posted on Instagram, and that was that. But yeah, are they going to reference this tonight on SmackDown of like, hey, Cody was on Pat McAfee's show. McAfee said the big guy might be returning. Who's McAfee? Because then it becomes canon. Then it becomes part of the television show. Right now, it's just something that McAfee may have done to pop himself, and it lives in the online world, and people like us and others are going to be like, oh, speculative and build interest and everything, but there's no real actual plan to it.
Yeah. So we'll see tonight how that plays out. But the show itself on Saturday, it looks like it'll be fun. I'll be watching it probably on a little bit of delay so I can skip all the commercials. Let's face it. Whatever. Also, I put my kid down at 7 o'clock, 7:30. I am a fake fan. It's fine. We got a super chat during our interview with Shawn Logan. I call him Seth because he was trained by Seth Rollins. That's why. Lab Glass says, for Joel, since he didn't have a TNA show last night, I did not. They ran a Best of Bound for Glory show. Any update on the next tapings? Well, they taped Wednesday and Thursday in Nashville at Skyway Studios. Apparently they were fun. I don't really want to give away too much, but Bound for Glory is shaping up, and they did something that I wasn't a big fan of that will impact the main event.
Oh, really? I've not read the spoilers.
They're hard to come across, to put it like that. I
They
posted
get Kaz in there? Oh, please tell me they added Zarian to the main event.
Go check my Twitter if you want to get spoiled. I don't
want to check your Twitter.
I subtly hinted it. It's like top of there. I don't think I've really tweeted much since last night.
All right, fine. I'm gonna look and I'm gonna spoil it for everybody else in this chat.
You can figure it out real quick. So if you don't want to get spoiled,
cares about Impact.
If you don't want to get spoiled, cover your ears in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, I see. Oh,
yes, yeah.
Okay. All right,
That's
I won't spoil it.
Yeah, so that's the thing that they did.
Sure. You got to have a heel in this thing, so otherwise,
sure. I told you once. I think the heel is.
I hope he ends up as the champion somehow. I think it'd be great.
I'm telling you, the heel is JBL coming in and having Nick Nemeth turn on whoever to win the match, win it by being a Dolph Ziggler like dickhead. Anyway, JBL X Division champion.
Wouldn't that be something?
That hurts. But yeah, so in terms of the TNA stuff, just because I do the show,
why didn't you do a post show?
Because they ran a best of Bound for Glory last night.
So you could have been like Ian and Caprice, just did commentary over the matches.
I don't know what that was about.
They're like, here's Joe and
Kabashi.
Kabashi, yeah. I was trying to think, was it Joe and Morishima or Joe and Kabashi? Yeah, Joe and
Kabashi.
Here's Joe and Kabashi. Let's do commentary over this.
Great.
Sure, why not?
And we have a Ring of Honor post show just for that.
Yeah, you should have done commentary over the Best of Bound for Glory moments. Josh Alexander, can he do it? Can he become the champion?
For 2 seconds, I thought about it because Cresta was saying that she's going to come back, and I told her like this was she. So to pull the curtain back, she messages myself and Shawn and says, "Hey, I think I'm going to come back this week." And I said, "Well, they just canceled the TV taping, so there's probably not going to be a new episode of TNA Impact this week. They're probably running a best of." And then they made the announcement for Skyway, and I was like, "Oh, maybe not. We'll see. Play it by ear." And then they announced they're doing the best of. So because Cresta's like newer to TNA, I thought about doing like a review with her of the best of TNA to get her kind of feelings about these matches. But then I was like, they're not showing super old stuff. They're showing stuff from like 2021 and I think beyond. And that was it. And they just kind of left it. And I said, we're just going to take the night off.
It's like Best of Bound for Glory since the pandemic era is what it was.
Yeah, which is insane because it doesn't need to exist. So I just left it alone and went on with my night. And then I was getting stuff from the Nashville taping sent to me. And I was like, Jesus Christ. Some stuff I was like, great. Some stuff I was like, Jesus Christ, what are we doing? But that's just my own feeling. We'll talk about those on the post show for TNA. Bound for Glory, there will be a post show. Myself, Steven Jensen, and Cresta Star will be doing that one. That's the end of October. And yeah, we got our weekly show. So check that out. Tonight is SmackDown. Should we do a quick rundown?
Sure. It seems like an okay show.
It does. I mean, it's going into a PLE that's pretty hotly anticipated. Naomi takes on Tiffany Stratton. That should be a fun match. Is Naomi going to turn heel finally? And is this going to be a double turn? Could this be the moment? It's not the moment. I'm just saying. It's just a match that's happening.
I think Tiffany's gonna win. You got to give her a win. They do this all the time where they beat the person with the briefcase. It's dumb. Just Tiffany needs a win.
Yeah, I really need less beating the people who have the briefcase. It just it doesn't make it more impactful when they eventually cash in, especially if they win. It just makes it just kind of shows you what's going to happen. Michin and Chelsea Green have a dumpster match. Let's freaking go. This should be the main event. I don't forget your triple threat ladder matches. No, the ladder match is the main event.
Yeah.
Come on, you dumpster match. That should be it. I hope that this is a match that gets multiple segments, and I hope it doesn't get cut. And I hope that these two women get the time, because this has been a fun story, and both women deserve to have a little bit of fun out in front of the crowd who get to see a dumpster match. You don't see dumpster matches on Raw or on SmackDown. So let's go.
It should be a lot of fun. I expect it to be wacky shenanigan fun.
The return of AJ Styles. Speaking of wacky shenanigans, he comes back to SmackDown after a little bit of a hiatus since when was the last time we really saw him? When he was dropping matches?
I quit match. Yeah.
So we haven't seen him. Was that Backlash?
Yeah, Backlash France.
God, that was a while ago. So AJ Styles making his return, and we'll see what that looks like. Is he going to go after, I don't know, the US Championship and LA Knight again? Or is he going to go after Cody Rhodes? Maybe someone else is going to come after him.
He just lost to Cody Rhodes.
I know. Maybe we need to do it again.
Oh.
Cody made a reference to something having title implications during that McAfee interview, and I know a few people have leapt on that. What's the Saudi show going to be? Is Crown Jewel going to be a mini tournament for a title shot? Is that what we're doing?
But see, Cody, he's an idiot.
What would you want to do? Like not a Deadly Games tournament, but let's say a mini tournament that culminates another tournament that culminates at a Saudi show.
No.
Well, then how do you, okay. The reason why I'd be okay with it is to get Cody a match for Survivor Series that therefore completely gets him out of War Games. That's the only reason why I'd be fine with it.
They ain't putting Roman and Kobe 3 in Saudi.
People talked about it because the money is there. If they toss more money at it, yes. But I don't think it's there. There's no build for it. There's no immediate build for it.
I keep saying this, and I said this when it came to The Rock, when people are like, "Oh, the Rock's gonna wrestle at Elimination Chamber. He's gonna go to Australia and wrestle. Why can't you do that? Rock and Cody in Australia, and then Rock and Roman at Mania or whatever." Like, you gotta factor in the media stuff when it comes to this. You put Cody and Roman in Saudi, way less media attention than doing that in America. They can't be on ESPN all week promoting this. They can't be on McAfee's show. They can't be on the Tonight Show and all this stuff. Like, you're losing so much media by putting these matches in Saudi. For some stuff, you can do it. This is why you put Logan Paul and Roman Reigns in Saudi, because it's like, all right, well, Logan's got the reach that he has, and he's going to promote the entire time. Like, that's why you do those types of matches in Saudi. This is a big money match. I ain't blowing that in Saudi.
So AJ Styles needs to come out tonight on SmackDown and say, "Big dog, I'm going after you. There can only be one big dog. Is it the big dog or the pit bull?" I can't do the stupid barking. It hurts. And then that's the match for Saudi. It's AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns one more time. They actually have really good chemistry. I'd like to see.
They have great matches.
They would be. Will Chisholm sent a super chat saying Jacob versus Cody at Saudi. And you could do it. It's just Jacob BS Cody. So maybe he's just going to go and be like, "I want to
bullshit with him."
It's Jacob Batu has a talk show sit down with Cody Rhodes in Saudi. It's called
Cody. Do you love Solo?
I love Solo. It's over and over again.
So, Jacob, what do you want to talk about? Cody, I want to talk about my love of Solo. I love Solo. Do you love Solo?
He prays so hard for this.
What?
And then the Saudis are like, "What is he doing with his hands? Stop him now."
Thomas there. Yeah.
What are we
Tonga Loa can't figure out if he's like sitting or standing. He's like, oh, where should I be? How should I go
Where
here?
should I put my hands? That's right.
Tonga, tell him how much you love Solo. Tonga's
On
like,
your
I really like him. Really, heart. Can we do the heart?
Yeah, you gotta get those
there
hearts.
it is.
They are. Hearts.
They love Solo.
Cody's gone solo. Anyway, so the main event is the blood on SmackDown is the main event versus the Street Profits versus #DIY.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Triple threat ladder match for the tag titles. You got Tama Tonga Loa versus the Street Profits versus DIY. DIY are finally going to recapture the tag team titles again on the night before PLE. Yeah, let's go. Or is it the Street Profits' turn to win the tag titles the night before a PLE?
I don't know if they're going to take the titles off of Bloodline. I don't think I would, honestly.
Jacob Fatu just comes in, cleans house, and
why wouldn't he?
Titles down himself. I know, why wouldn't he?
Why wouldn't Jacob Fatu just destroy all these people? And like, all right,
make
we're
them
back.
look badass. Make the Bloodline, make those two men look badass, and they take the tag titles. They hand them to their Bloodline brethren, and they stand tall. And it's another week on SmackDown. Here we go.
Louis mentioning potential of Hikuleo, Tala Tonga.
Taller Tonga is my favorite.
It's possible. It's possible we get him here.
PW Insider had reported that he's internally listed on NXT, and which honestly I think is a good spot for him to start. I kind of wanted him to make an appearance, not necessarily in Chicago, but again, you and I kind of fantasy booked like Bloodline gets involved with the tag title stuff, blah blah blah, and then that brings in Hikuleo, and we're on to it. We're on to whatever he does. I don't know. Do you start him on main and then move him to NXT after he does what he does, or is he not on the NXT roster and he just gets started on top? Because I don't know.
I don't think you can start him on main with all this Bloodline stuff and then be like, hey, go kick rocks in NXT for a little while.
Well,
like
Dwayne's back and he doesn't know you yet, so go over to the PC for a bit, learn a new hold.
If you want to start him on NXT and then deal with when's he joining the Bloodline, you can do that. They did that with Solo, and like it was good. It was fine until they put the North American title on him and then then took it off of him 2 weeks later, a week later. It's like, oh, never mind. Sorry about that. Like, I think that's okay, but you can't start him on main and then throw him down to NXT. I'd just go ahead and bring him in on the main roster with everybody.
The Delta promo is not actually for Delta, it's for Hikuleo. Hikuleo got big red hair. He's wearing a big red trench coat.
Hikuleo is a little bit shorter than Delta, I think.
Oh no, I don't think Delta's that tall. I think she's only 5'9". Like for the women, she is tall.
Yeah.
Now I gotta look this up because Delta wrestling.
How about Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, who are apparently
7'8",
fucking giants?
I saw that. I laughed so hard.
Hold on, I would pull this up for people who missed this segment because I understand if you do.
Delta's listed at 5'8", so she's tall. She's tall for a woman, but yes, she's not. Pretty sure Tala Tonga's taller.
Look how giant these ladies are.
I was like, I know,
I know that like Casey and Lyra and Katana, like they're a little bit short, but I didn't realize that fucking just towers them.
It's Jackie Redmond that does it for me. Look at her. She's like, you're big. Oh, by the way, Tala Tonga's listed at 6'8", so he's tall and lanky.
Yeah, he's a tall dude.
Yeah, he's tall, lanky boy.
But yeah, he's got nothing on Alba Fire and Isla Dawn.
So first of all, Alba Fire I think was already like 5'5", 5'6", which is pretty average height, especially compared to like Casey Caden. I didn't know Jackie was that short, but like Casey and Caden I knew were tiny. Lyra, I'm pretty sure I knew she was like 5'3", but like Isla Dawn is certainly wearing platforms on this.
Maybe because they've been feuding with like Bianca and Jade, who are also pretty tall.
Very
Like
tall.
Jade's definitely tall, and Bianca got some height on her as well. So maybe it'd be like they just didn't stand out as much. I thought they came in on like boxes. I thought they did the old WWE announcer gimmick again of like, oh, these women just stepped in. They came in on just giant boxes. They're monster.
Isla's built 5'7", by the way.
She's every bit of 5'11" next to these ladies.
Again,
Look at them.
I implore everybody to look at Jackie Redmond's face. Just the eyes bugging out.
Jackie is more of like, oh, why do I match skirts?
It's true. Do I have that skirt? Oh, I can't tell you how upset I am that Lyra's been paired with the party girls. I hate it so much.
Lyra likes colors and gold. Well, Lyra's she's got a bunch of different friends. The hologram of WWE Raw just teaming with whoever she needs to team with.
Shout out to Hologram, who's going to have a great 4-way on AEW Collision.
Oh, we're not going to spoil anything from Collision. We should.
No.
It doesn't really matter. But
shout out to Hologram, who gets another win on Collision. How about that?
Did you saw the match, right, Joel?
Yeah, I saw who's in it.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
No, not the 4-way. I don't care about the 4-way.
The other matches on yeah, I saw all the spoilers. There's some perfect stuff in there for you.
When I saw this isn't a spoiler, all right? Because I'm gonna say it. You know who wins. It doesn't matter. The fucking conglomeration against the premier athletes for the 3 millionth time. I read that and I'm just like, we gotta stop him. Tony's out of control with this. He's gotta be stopped. He cannot keep getting away with the premier athletes and the conglomeration. It just can't.
It's the Aaron Paul. He can't keep getting away with this. We're Breaking Bad.
Like he can't keep doing it.
But he can, because people paid $10 for their tickets and they did a good job.
Just what are we doing?
Having fun, brother.
Friggin', I'm even seeing if like this is he gonna get penalized for rematch booking. So it's Nice and Davari. I don't think we've done this version of this tag team match. Nope. See, he switches it up just enough.
You got to switch it up. It's the TEW booking, and so he doesn't
It
get fined.
is.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
I love that I feel like he has like a spreadsheet of like all the different combinations.
He
that
does.
He can do with premier athletes and conglomeration. And he's like, all right. Oh, wait, I need a 6-man tag. Oh, hologram and conglomeration. There's 3 premier athletes. What if instead of the premier athletes, instead of the usual premier athletes, 1 week is Beast Mordos. It's like, let's throw Beast Mordos in there. Let's get him.
He's with LFI, so it doesn't matter.
Now he's with LFI, but now, hologram in this 4-way match. Commander. Oh, Commander teaming with the premier athletes. I know he was just teaming with Private Party, but they seem like they just dropped him, like whatever. So
no,
Commander.
Luchadors go with the highest bidder. We've discovered this in AEW.
Okay. They're gonna get another premier athlete to team up with with the premier athletes. So
yeah, Commander
feuding with the conglomeration.
Good stuff.
Hey, listen,
either that or the learning tree. Which one do you want the conglomeration to deal with?
Conglomeration and premier athletes. It's the only match Tony knows how to book on Collision.
And book it. He does. That's it for us. Do you think they just did it?
They're bringing back Milan. They're bringing back Milan a match.
Yeah. Did you see this? Yeah, you saw the tweets. I was going to bring it up, but I wasn't sure if you'd seen it. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you'd seen it yet. Good for them. Good for AEW. Honestly, the first one was funny. I'd like to see it again. Bring back movie in a match, meal in a movie and a dinner in a movie. Do everything.
It's called Dinner in a Movie.
It was called Dinner in a Movie. You're right.
Yeah, allegedly.
Do we have anything else before we get on out of here?
There's a lot of stuff we could talk about if we wanted to.
If we wanted to, but it's been an hour and a half, or 2 hours and a half, 2.5 hours. We've been here for a while. We had 3 guests this morning.
True.
Take that, Busted Open Radio. You don't get 3 guests. Well, they probably do. Who am I
feel like
kidding?
they got 3 yesterday.
Did they? Oh, God dang it. Yeah, but they didn't have the influencer, Sean Logan. Okay. They didn't have Cameron Hawkins.
Facts.
They didn't have Andrew Zarian. They had Andrew Zarian on Sunday with
Andrew Zarian was cheating on us this week.
It's true. Everyone but us. Sucks. Gonna have to set that man straight. We're not doing 3-hour in the weeds. We're not. We're just not. Oh God. Are you looking up something? Are you looking up who was on Busted Open?
Yeah, I was.
Did you find out?
Yeah, they had 4 guests. They outdid us.
4 guests. Call Shawn.
Yeah.
No, Sean's busy. Damn it.
Yeah.
We also hit our Shawn limit today. We had a Shawn already.
We're gonna do a 24-hour live stream for charity at some point.
Yeah, you are.
You're gonna be on it.
I'll be on it. Sleep stream,
Coward.
Well. I don't really have anything else to talk about. It's not like there was TNA on last night.
Well, we wouldn't be talking about that.
It's true. We wouldn't be talking about it anyway. Good stuff. What's
you want to throw out more names of who's controlling John Moxley?
Yeah, Sean Ross Sapp, Dave Meltzer. Wade Keller comes out. He's like, I never do this, but I need the money just like Dave did. It's Dave and Wade together. Oh. And then and Tony Khan is like, I made this happen with my new money, my new deal. I don't know why he's Larry David in my head.
Yeah, what is this?
Yeah, maybe it's Phil and Reg. Maybe it's the Grapsody guys. They run AEW now.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Happy anniversary to them too. Their 3-year anniversary just came and gone. They're going to celebrate on Saturday on the main channel. So y'all should go do that. Father James Mitchell comes out with a big old load of white powder. And he's like, I'm the dude. It's Billy Corgan. I now own All Elite Wrestling, and it's an NWA territory. NWA All Elite. NWA EW.
National Wrestling, All Elite Wrestling.
National Wrestling.
We're the best wrestle twice.
Every match is a 2 out of 3 falls match. And none of the matches end in 2 falls.
I thought about this when who is the System? Who was that?
In TNA?
Oh, in TNA. I was like, wait, who is that group? Yeah. I thought about this of Taz's. Taz got taken out. He's confirmed that he had to undergo knee replacement, by the way, for those that missed it. Taz got taken out. I was like, is this how they bring back Adam Cole? This is the Devil storyline all over again. Let's go. Let's get the Devil back in there.
See,
Adam Cole and Hook.
I said it was going to be Mimosa Joe to get back at Taz for being the one who actually sent the ninjas for him in TNA.
Oh, okay. I was like, what's the story though? Okay.
We're going to come all the way around, and we're going to find out that it was Taz that did it. And this is Samosa Joe figuring out that this is what happened to him.
That would be the most inside shit ever to do that. You complain, not you, but you complain of like, what's the story with Nigel and Bryan? At least they got footage for that stuff.
We got footage from this one. It's just 1 week of footage.
Is TNA going to let them use it? TNA's got a partnership with WWE.
Just stage the damn footage. It's throwing a big Samoan dude in the back of a white van. It doesn't look weird in Mesa, Arizona.
Imagine if Samoa Joe comes back with the face tat as well. That'd rule. He comes back as Maui. He's just fucking Maui.
Maui Joe.
Joe would rule as Maui.
You're
he
welcome.
Should have the ring spot. Joe would be great with the "You're Welcome." Oh, he's so good on that song. He would absolutely rule.
I forget. Was it Tom Campbell who did the Maui "Go Home and Smoke Some Crack" thing? Where it was the end of the "You're Welcome" song, and then he closes the door. But before he closes the door, he says, "Now go home and smoke some more crack." That shit broke me. Anyway,
he's gonna be back. He's gonna be back this weekend.
Now go home and smoke some more crack.
they're in Nashville tonight. They're in Atlanta on Saturday.
Let's look this up.
Yeah, we're gonna look up when the next time they're in Arizona.
Crack rate in Nashville.
They're in Greenville, South Carolina, the week after that.
Let's see here.
Columbia, South Carolina on the 18th.
Real research. In the Nashville area, there are more than 200,000 people that have reported using illegal drugs within the past year. This accounts for more than 18% of the population in the area and is higher than the rates for the state of Tennessee in the United States. So it has a pretty big rate here. Nashville is higher than the overall rate in Tennessee. So Nashville, big crack country in Nashville. They're walking Nash Broadway. There's all the cocaine cowboys are singing their friggin' songs and just doing drugs.
Just doing drugs. Is Barclays? Oh yeah, that's got to be a double taping then. They're at Barclays on October 25th. That's the go home to Crown Jewel.
Oh, sure.
Well, it's not the go home. I guess it is. Anyway, it's not the go home, but it's the week before Crown Jewel, which is on the Saturday the 2nd. There's
My
no
mom
Raw.
is calling.
Again?
Yeah, hold on. No, she's like calling.
Did you check to see if that nice
Hi.
man?
I'm still on the show.
You're still on the show? Oh, I'm sorry.
Apologize to the audience, mother.
I'm sorry, guys.
Very mean.
I'm sorry. I didn't know I was supposed to cancel that, though.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
All right.
Hi, everybody.
Bye,
Nobody
Mom.
said hi back. Joel is here. Joel's a jerk.
No, he's not.
Aw, Joel's not a jerk.
Yeah, he is.
Thank you, Mom.
Joel.
Appreciate you.
All right. The chat is forgiving you for calling and interrupting the show. You've been forgiven.
Okay.
All right. So
Thank you.
everyone-
Thanks for the shout out, too, earlier.
yes, everyone say happy birthday to my mom. Her birthday is on Sunday.
Happy birthday.
Joel's trying to
Joel.
sing.
Huh?
Joel's trying to sing. It's bad.
Yeah, well,
He's trying to sing?
Yeah. Mama, who do you think John Moxley is speaking to?
Huh?
Who do you think John Moxley is working with?
Who is John Moxley?
Yeah, not a draw, John Moxley. Do you know
So
who Cody Rhodes is?
Yeah.
Okay, see, WWE is the draw in my mom's house. She doesn't know who John Moxley is.
I thought Sammy Callahan was the
I mean,
draw.
I've seen him. I've seen you talk about him.
Yeah.
Or I've just seen, where you've posted things.
Yeah.
But I don't know who he is.
You shouldn't
Who is
follow me on Twitter. It's not great.
he? I shouldn't follow you?
No one should follow me.
Everybody should follow you.
No, stop. Don't no, you're ruining my bit, Mom. Don't do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
I like the laser things, though. That was cool. You had me laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I needed that. That was pretty cool, though. And who was that other guy that was on there?
His name is Andrew Zarian.
Andrew Zarian.
Yeah.
Is he a wrestler?
Maybe. We don't really know.
Yeah, he's pretty close about that.
Okay.
He may or may not be Timecock.
What's that supposed to mean?
Watch the product, Mom.
Sounds like.
Okay. Well, I don't get to it very often,
What are you doing with your life?
I have
Oh,
a
that's
very
not a question
busy
you should ask.
schedule,
You have a very, very busy social life.
She's very
Yes.
busy.
Oh,
woman.
okay.
I
right.
do now.
All
I
right.
do have a little bit.
If you say
It's getting
so.
better.
Okay.
Well, that's good.
All right, go back to your show.
All right.
All right,
No,
sorry.
this is the show.
Love you.
Yep. Love you too.
Okay.
All right.
Bye, Joel.
Love you, Mom.
Joel said bye.
Bye, babe.
All right. Happy birthday. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
There you go. There's my mom, everybody.
Maple Leaf Pro announced the night 2 main event is Josh Alexander versus Kenosuke.
4 guests. We did it. Fuck
did
you.
it.
Busted open.
I'd call my mom, but I don't want that conversation. It'll go 40 minutes and there'll be a lot of guilt. Oh, we did it. Andrew
Maple
Zarian
Leaf
is also
Pro
Hall of
announced
Fame.
what?
Maple Leaf Pro announced that Konosuke Takeshita versus Josh Alexander will be the night 2 main event.
I thought they already did that.
They announced that it was happening. They just didn't announce which night it would be.
Oh, that's gonna go a time limit Raw.
TLD, TLD, and get ready. Bully Ray will be there.
Yeah, I saw that.
I ain't gonna be
For
there.
him. Good
I
for
will
him.
not be there. We
Yeah.
won't be there.
Alright.
Stu Grayson will be there though. Love that Stu Grayson. Anyway, whew, anything else we got to touch on before we get on out of here?
Nope.
Good stuff. Busted open in the mud. We did our thing. Get them lasers back.
Can I like double? Like, can I? Oh wait, it's gotta be that.
It's that one. Yeah, you gotta do it like Edge. You gotta. Yeah, there it is.
Pew, 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 pew,
I
pew,
see
pew.
clearly.
All right, so I'm gonna try to double. I'm gonna do like fireworks and lasers together.
Yeah,
I don't
let's
know
do
if
this.
that'll work or not.
Come on. Yeah, there's one.
Oh, it just
after another.
blended into each other.
Yeah,
All
just
right.
do one after the other. All right.
We'll
Look
take
at
it.
us. We had it.
Yeah.
Longest show we've done in a very long time, and all it had to
That's
do was get real awkward in the middle. For Jeremy Lambert, I'm Agile Pearl, JOELBEARL. We're back on Monday, but it's main channel Monday, so we'll be on youtube.com/Fightful talking about Bad Blood and probably not Collision because Collision was taped last night and we already know what happened. Till then, ladies and gentlemen, friends beyond the binary, we'll see you in the next one. Enjoy your weekend. Cheers.